talk about the...
Hey, freaks. Look who we have here again. Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick from Identifinders International. Not, what do they call it? Everybody always says the wrong thing.
No, don't say the wrong thing, because then everybody's going to... No.
Right. Identifinders. Oh, I know what it is. I know what the one is. I know what the one that they say wrong all the time.
I know. Where's the chat? How do I get on the chat?
You can just see it right here on the side.
I know.
In StreamYards. Remember over there at the top, it's like comments.
Do I have to log into YouTube or anything?
No, you're just on StreamYard, the thing that we're in.
Okay.
See over on the left-hand side, there's like the comments.
No, I don't see anything at all.
No, in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, it says comments.
Okay.
Come on, we've done this before on the same damn app. Come on, it's
look.
You're on the. It's on the.
I'm trying to cooperate.
Well, we're in StreamYard, right? Like you can see.
Yes, I am, and I see nothing. I mean, it says studio chat on the right with two.
Well, hit that.
Wait, comments.
Yeah, there it was. See, you've seen it before.
All along. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I see a lot. There's Coco. Oh yeah, yeah. There's there's Linda Howell, Coco.
Yeah, Linda Molden Howe of the cattle mutilations, Paulette Leonard. Yeah.
Yeah, we have all the usuals. Yeah, hi guys, hi everybody. How's everybody doing? Everybody's look. Oh, I look beautiful. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I feel old, but I look beautifully old. Yeah, that's another way of saying it. Okay, how's everybody doing? Come on, let's get some stuff going. What's going on, Gray?
Not much at all, really.
Have you been through Nancy Guthrie? Have y'all been talking about Nancy Guthrie?
Yeah, it's kind of like we're just,
Everybody's tired of it.
Well, yeah, it's weird because everybody still wants to talk about it, even though everybody's tired of it. So it's like if you don't do a show like right now, like we have 58 people watching, right? Like if I had that we were talking about Nancy Guthrie, we'd have 400, 350, Well, and that's just how it is because people are. But you're more interesting than Nancy Guthrie.
Well, we
that
have
case
people who think so.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Wild Bill. Hi, Wild Bill. Happy to see you too.
Right. So we got we have a bunch of cases that have been sort of in the back burner for quite a while, and maybe you can give us an update on some of those.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about the Vermont Doe case. Isn't that cool? Come on, we were just talking about that. Guys,
Yeah, I tried to cover it the other night, and everyone just was chatting about something else. So I quit. I just started doing something else. I just quit the show. Well, but it's
I'll chat with whatever people want. If you want to talk about the recent SpaceX stuff, okay, not expected, but
no.
I'm here and.
No, we're talking about the Vermont Doe. So tell us. So the Vermont Doe case is one that we looked at. Seems like 5 years ago or so, even more. Probably like before COVID even. And
it was about 21 at late 19.
Oh, was it 21? So maybe right in during COVID or something. So it was like
we were kind of boiling on that early on.
Yeah, so it was a case in Vermont where there's a mother, likely her 2 children, I think a son and a daughter, and they were wrapped up in an awning, shot to death, and they didn't have any clothing on. And they were found in like 1935, I think, but they likely died in 32.
Yeah.
There's actually a newspaper article that says that there was a guy, he smelt decomposition. He remembers it really clearly, like in 1932 or so, like a few years before, and then boom, they find the bodies over there.
Yeah.
So anyways, and then there just wasn't enough DNA in the little piece that we had, so maybe you can explain what the deal is now.
Well, guys, the thing is, stuff is old, right? And when you use old DNA, you're using old DNA. So we tried in 2021. You have to think things were new here in the fig corner, and they tried a bunch of extra stuff. There was a few things uh, that people did, back then. Tissuelizer was one of them. That means extracting at very low temperatures. And, everything, nothing really worked. There were several things that, will drag you through all that. But in the end, the bones were so old. So recently, there's we might as well try again. It's been 2 or 3 years since we tried, so we're going to try again. And, we have a lot more hope because we have done some cases right now. We've had that we didn't think would work at all. And there's DNA. Oh my God, who would have thought? And we did very well with those. So now we're going to try this on some of the cases we're working on for you guys. And one of them is the Vermont case. We contacted them a bunch of times, and suddenly they start writing back. So we're going to try and do that again. We they have those.
Yeah, your internet's like.
I think Greg froze up there. No, there he is. He opened his eyes.
Yeah, I think we're all clear over here, but your internet connection isn't that great.
Yeah, we have technical difficulties.
I'm not on my end. I can see that I'm clear and being sent out to YouTube, but your internet's kind of slow. It's fuzzy.
Yeah. Oh, it is? Well, yeah, well, I can't help that. It's the bandwidth. I can
it is what it is.
Close a lot of windows if you want. You want to try that?
No,
watch this. Right. Let me try something.
All right.
Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do, if I lose you, which I don't think I'll do because you're in a different window, I'm just trying to speed up the internet. Here we are. Does that help? Is that moving things along right?
Seems a little bit better. How did you speed up the internet?
I closed a lot of other windows.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Maybe that's
actually, I got on my little bicycle, my little gerbil.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you have a button you press and Elon Musk goes, oh, yeah, you need a little bit more juice?
I'm pedaling.
Yeah, so anyway, we were talking about Vermont here, this case.
Yeah.
So they tried what was the original thing they tested a long time ago?
Let's see. Close the window, darn it. Let me get it back. It was it was part of the child's skeleton.
Mm-hmm. Was it like in the head?
Well, I've got to open it now because I just closed everything.
Uh-oh, now it's going to slow it down again. It's like the chicken or the egg.
I can make sure it doesn't slow down. I know I have I can't really, but I can try. All these technical difficulties, they're supposed to make life easier. So now, let me look. What did we use? I can tell you almost immediately, if not sooner. We had, let me see, guys. We had skeletal remains. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's a tooth. It was they had 3 skeletons. There was a woman, there was a child like about 10, and there was a child about 13 to 15. And we had the tooth from the middle, the one, the juvenile, the teenager. And teeth, are really good, normally really good. And so we thought we could extract something from the teeth, but it really didn't work that well. So
I mean, they could still have people. Yeah, I was going to say they might still have family members still alive, right? I mean, they could have somebody that if you're like 8, they could be 100 or something.
Yeah, well, the kid, if he's 10, okay, 19, 20, Yeah, it'd be 100 years old, but it could also be like a cousin, that was born a lot later. The woman could have had a younger brother or sister, and they had,
right.
and that person even be in their 70s. You don't know. If it's a farming family, they could have had a big family with lots of kids. So, that won't stop us. I mean, there's been cases. I think there was a case done. They identified somebody in 1910 or 1920, found him in a cave. Guy found in the cave in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been murdered. I forgot that. So
I
we're not
remember
just
that
so
one.
concerned because and he was mummified. He was wearing the same clothes as they had a newspaper article about how he disappeared or he was in jail or something. And then he disappeared, and then now we found him a couple of years ago. It wasn't us; it was another group, and they identified him from 1910 or something, 1912. I can look it up. So we have a lot of hope. It was a tooth, and they may have some more teeth. They didn't want to exhume, and we asked them way back, if they wanted to exhume the body or anything, the remains, because that would give us more to work with. But they said no. They said they weren't. It would be too much of a process. They'd have to go through, all the red tape and the paperwork and the city ordinances and the cemetery, whatever you have to do with that. And so they said probably they could not, but we have to check because it could be they still have, the lab still has part of that tooth. It's possible. We tried, we just really couldn't extract. I think we finally did extract a little bit from it. Hold on. And it just didn't work. It wasn't
like bacteria, seems like.
Yeah, it could have been. Let's see.
But hey, guys, don't forget to help support the channel out there. We, rely on the income from the people sending in super chats to help support the channel, and also is what's funded all of these projects over the years. So thank you.
Thanks, freaks. You really are helping. I'm trying to find, because I think we did get a little bit of, it was contaminated with bacteria, but we did get something. It was just, not a whole lot. Too contaminated with bacteria, and they're working on fixing that. So that was what we got. And yep. So the Montos, you want to show the map where they were found or talk about how they were found, right? You have all those newspaper articles.
Yeah, I had the
why don't you bring that up? Yeah, we were talking freaks. We were talking about that before y'all got on. That Gray has a good map to show you. Now this is a modern map right now.
Yeah, down this road. Based on what was said in some of the articles when I originally did this, I had a pin right there, and then, when I was showing them on the show the other day, like this is an actual picture from 1935 of them, recovering the remains right here. Mm-hmm. And these are the two people who found the remains, and there's looks like another shot of the same place close up.
Yeah. And you figure, back those days, it was very primitive how they recovered remains. I mean, they were still good at what they did, but it was a primitive type time compared to today with all the science. So
yeah, it says right here, at left is pictured Edward Munson, and that's the name of that road. So that was his street. That was it's still named that. So it was named after him or maybe another family member, but it's pretty obvious.
How'd they find him? How'd they see him? Because that's kind of really overgrown with a lot of, proved skeletons are mother and two children.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Let's see what it says originally.
It's 1930 something, right?
Oh, jeez.
And you figure, this is 1932. They put it in the paper. They had to be almost definitely local to some extent, right?
Oh, right there. Yeah, it says there were rapid developments yesterday in the investigation of the triple murder mystery. So I need to go find the original ones. 3 skeletons found beside a lonely East Middlebury Road. It was determined.
The assistant and the mother and her 2 children.
Right, the mother was 35 to 40. One of the children is believed to have been 14 to 17. Second child is definitely known to have been a boy, about 10. I thought it was the other way around, though. What they came
instead of blonde, the teenager was a blonde, a blonde girl. The second is definitely a boy about 10 years old. Orthodontic work.
Yeah, it was really high-end orthodontic work. So they were thinking they could find the answer to the case by talking to one of the only few dentists that even do any of this in the entire area, and it didn't lead to anything.
Now that's odd, don't you think? Because if you have a family of 3 that disappears, the neighbors would know that. That maybe they were just from somebody in another county said they were moving somewhere and they left and they were killed for some reason, and nobody really knew what happened to him. Yeah, maybe a dog. Gene fish out there. I wonder if a dog smell them. That could be. That could be. But and they said the middle child had blonde hair, and they thought it was a girl. Now you have to say, how'd they know it was blonde hair? Maybe there was hair at the scene, but of course back then they would never have kept the hair. It would be nice if they did, because that could. That we do hair now very well. So, Astria is out there doing a lot of good work.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about exhuming at this point. If you exhume, there's a really good chance you could identify them.
Yeah. Well, there's more teeth. We figured that. Here's something we figured out, that originally it was a tooth, right? So suppose they consume the tooth and it's gone. We use the DNA. Or we want to get a better sample. They have to have more teeth. They have to have a whole jaw, right? Because why would you just exhume a tooth? Why would you'd have to exhume the whole jaw, take a tooth out, and
why not get more either as well?
Yeah, and why throw it back in?
Yeah.
So it's one of those. That's really cool if we can solve that, because and you still got to wonder, one of these things, the open-ended mysteries, the whole family. That must be the whole family. What's the deal? Why didn't anybody?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd think the father would have said something, unless, it was some mafia hit and they put his body somewhere else and got rid of him. Who knows? Yeah. But somebody should have said something. I mean, right? Yeah. I mean, there's a family of somebody.
Well, yeah, and somebody commented maybe hair is left. Well, it's been a while, and let's say hair, they have hair on mummies. They do. They find mummies with hair, So it depends on the conditions of the soil and how they were buried. These people were not buried. They were just thrown in the woods, right?
And wrapped in I think they were wrapped in...
Did they say that?
In an awning. They were wrapped in an awning. Remember that? Yeah, it was like a striped awning. Yeah.
I don't remember that part, but
yeah,
if they're wrapped in some, even so.
How do you spell awning? Do you know how to spell it?
Awning, A-W-N, is like yawning, but without the Y.
Okay, that's what I didn't want to... Yeah, right there, okay. So it says, the investigators' theory that the victims were murdered at a summer camp is further strengthened by the finding of scraps of awning material in which the bodies appeared to have been wrapped. Small pulley blocks and bits of rope, such as are used in the operation of porch awnings, were also found. Feathers, apparently from a small porch pillow, were found beneath one of the skulls. The absence of buckles, buttons, jewelry, and other articles convinces the officers that the slayer stripped the victims to conceal their identity. It's actually kind of an interesting, it's an interesting case altogether, right?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So we're in touch with people up in Vermont, who are going to talk to us. They suddenly wrote us. We had been writing them and checking in, and suddenly they wrote us back. So we're going to follow up and, see if we can. That was one of the cases that you freaks were going to pay for or cover the cost of. And so, which is a good thing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, last month we were able to put, I think, 1,500 in there.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put more in this month just to kind of, more than maybe try to do like 2,000 or something.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep building.
Because we're rolling now. We're back on the air. We had a sort of a dry spell for a number of reasons. One of them was that Astria was redoing their pipeline, and that was just one. But we had a couple, and so we thank you guys because I'll come back and I'll update you as we limp along. As fast as we're limping as fast as we can. We have control over something.
It's a potato sack race. You put the
yeah.
You almost kind of, you can't really run, but that's Oh man, I gotta blow.
Yeah. I'm trying to say hi to the freaks while I'm there. Can they hear me? Yeah, there they are. I want to say hi, freaks. How are you doing? I'm looking at the chat and I'm everybody's saying hello to everybody, but nobody's saying how they're doing.
Right. It's just that's what I always tell them every time I do a show. It's hello, 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 hello. But nobody ever, there's nothing other than hello.
How you're doing, instead of just saying hello.
Yeah, but here's the truth. If you're walking down a hall and somebody walked up and said, "Hey, how you doing?" and you literally went, "Well, I'll tell you what, my shoe fell off when I was at home earlier and I stubbed my you went on this long thing," they'd look at you like you were a crazy person. They didn't really ask you because they cared about it, right?
Oh, there's Karen. Yeah, I'm doing fine, Karen. I'm sitting here in the booth. I sprained my ankle twice, and I'm trying to get out of it, trying to get out of the boot. And every time I take it off, it starts hurting again. That's how I'm doing. Yeah. Besides that, and the economy and the price of gas and my mortgage payment and let's see, other family drama, I'm doing fine.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, we really didn't want to know all that, but...
there's Coco. Hi, Coco. How are you? Yeah. Oh, and hi. I'm great, enjoying a quiet night watching. Great. Hey, what a great way to spend the evening.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right, so what are we doing now in this case to try to get the resolution?
Yeah, well, what happened is Lisa, she wanted to come tonight, but she had something with her kids. She'll be on next time. Lisa, she's the operations manager. She keeps writing to our various agencies and kind of tells them what's going on. We haven't heard from you. And suddenly, after a while, we got the email back from the Vermont people saying, "Hey, we might be interested." And we went, "Oh my God!"
Does she do genealogy too?
Lisa, yeah, she's both of us are real busy. I mean, I do it and she does it, but a lot of times we collaborate with the other team and we pitch in if we don't have the case ourselves. But she does do it, and she's done some really great stuff.
Okay, all right. So tell them about the torso one.
No, our friend the torso. The torso was.
Where was that in Indiana? Maybe you could tell me. I can find it on the screen.
It was from Putnam County, and that one was 1972. They found a torso, just a torso, and it took a long time to exhume it because, of course, 1972 they had to figure out where the poor guy was buried.
Is it 72 or 74 at Big Walnut Creek, right? Torso. I think it was 74, wasn't it?
Well, I have 72, which may be a mistake, but I'm looking right now. It says I have 72. And,
okay, maybe I have it wrong.
About mid 2024, I want to emphasize we do some really tough cases here. And up front, the problem was, and Greg can tell you in his magnificent mapping abilities, that we had trouble locating the grave. And Gray did really good. We looked at it. We had one old newspaper article, and we just milked that article for everything we could. And there were trees in the background, houses in the background. There were, just landmarks. There were other tombstones. And it took a while. We have all those records and maps and screenshots. But in the end, they were able sort of to triangulate on a couple of tombstones. Right, Greg? Isn't that how it went?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were able to, I mean, there was like a building in the background. Well, when you look at this, there's really only one spot that even has buildings back here. If you look this way, there's nothing. So it was over there, and you could see different various stumps and trees and whatnot, and that's what kind of led to be able to find the body to exhume. It was put into a really amazing cemetery, like a grave, what do you call, like one of those coffins that are just like probably cost $5,000 today.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have any pictures of that. Oh, do you have the original newspaper article? I mean, with the picture? Can you bring that up and we can show everybody what
I have to look for that one. Let me see if I can find
by
it.
The way, I want to say to Wild Bill, he's saying that he's tired. He might have to sign off. He's just going to fall asleep listening. Wild Bill, thanks for dropping in, and we'll talk soon. But you just go ahead and close off.
Hey, look, I put a lot of people to sleep in here. Okay.
He says he's still here. Okay. No, I said I wanted to say hi.
I'll try to find it. I have it on the map here, but there is that newspaper article.
Yeah.
I have to find it.
But the newspaper article is interesting because of the picture.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, the picture.
I'll have to try to find if I type in the word torso, maybe. Hey, thanks, Bright-Eyed Girl. Thank you, Dr. Colleen, for all your dedication to solving all these cases for families and sharing your knowledge with everyone.
Oh, Brown-Eyed, that's so nice of you. Thank you for the donation because, we work, we get our, it helps our agencies cover things. We covers us too, but let me tell you, we work 10 times harder than what we earn. So the payoff is not, I'm not going to buy my personal jet anytime soon. Let's put it that way. But the payoff is that these families get answers. That's the real thing.
Yeah, like we actually donate more to you than what we rate. Like when we do our shows and people send in super chats, like we donate way more than that because, like all during the month I bring in funds and then it supports the channel and then I donate thousands of dollars and then, during the shows we don't bring in thousands of dollars. So it's just like you just pick a few of the ones and give them. Like you're the highest donation. I mean, we've given up like 115 or so now.
Yeah, over time. Not all at one time, but
that'd be pretty hard to do. That's just that one time.
Well, that's great though. So freaks, thanks a lot. I mean, it is. Coco was saying, man, that's tough, just a torso. Well, that's the point. Is they thought he might be victim of a serial killer. They really weren't sure. So it comes back to the top. These detectives sometimes, have a case they know about, and then they start thinking about it. And then when genealogy kicks in, they say, oh, we could do genealogy on that. So we're going to try. The problem is it's got a lot of bacteria, too. A lot of these older cases have bacteria. And there's always technology to suck the bacteria out, and it's getting better and better. And that's the thing. That's why we want to try. To get more human and be able to suck the bacteria out when we have it. So it had a lot of bacteria, as you can imagine, being underground mid-1970s.
I think I got it. I think I found it. There we go.
Yeah, freaks, this is a really interesting picture.
Yeah, there's a bunch of pictures, so I guess that was later, but here's the one. Here's the original right here. Look.
Yeah.
So there was this picture right here. And I think this building's not there anymore, whatever that is over here.
Yeah.
But you can see right over there, there's homes and then the tree, that big tree right there.
Yeah, and you see the houses kind of behind the tree.
Uh-huh. So that's kind of what was leading to, like, this tree over here, something probably like this tree, right? That's it, big, wild tree. And then the houses are back in the background right over there. And I think they're even, like, maybe even in, like, that one might even be in the same angle, like maybe that's this one right over there.
Yeah.
It kind of works pretty good for that.
Yeah, and looking at the big house that isn't there anymore, where would that be? That's like and that's close. That's actually pretty close.
I know, it's like right over here. It's weird. I don't know what that is.
I think it is. It's that empty place. Go back to what you just, the orientation. Go back to
I have to go back to
it's that empty place in the back, that round circle place. Look.
Over here?
No.
Oh, over here?
To the left. No. You see where the 4 pins are? Yeah. Right on top of the 4 pins, there's like this round thing in that where the trees
but the angle of the shot is like this. So that house would have to be like right over here.
There. Yeah, right. Closer, where it's cleared out. Right there. Right.
Except that's cemetery though too. Unless maybe the cemetery, they got rid of it to make more room for the cemetery, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They sold the land and they because the trees are all the same age, same size. Look at that.
That's 1998. So that's even 24 years. Yeah. 26 years later anyways, right?
Yeah, we see all the trees are the same size. So they've been there a while.
That's 1985. I wonder if, see that little lightness right there?
Yeah.
That's sort of interesting because look at that, it's not there anytime later. You know, you wonder if that's sort of like we're just seeing the edge of a building that was right there. Let's see.
Yeah, it's blurry.
Wow, that's weird, right? You can't see it at all, but just squint your eyes and you can see that there's this really light area there that doesn't make sense.
Why is it so blurry?
Because it's 1985. But see that right there? It's like you squint your eyes, it's really light. Now watch when you go to the very next one, that's not there anymore. Well, so it could have been right there, a building, and then we're just seeing the last bit of it.
Yeah,
maybe. You know,
it looks like it's like a little dent in the woods right there in the corner of that. Mm-hmm. It could have been a shed or something from that farm.
And let's see, go all the way to now.
Right. Well, right now, the one right before that, the corner of the big field, right there. You see the diagonal line that comes up at that corner. That corner, there's a reason for that. Right up in there, that's where it was.
That's what I think that matches this too, because there's the whiteness, see?
Yeah.
And that's like a building color. That wouldn't just be there. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Looking at that.
So that's because it's out of focus because it's old. Is that
it's just 1990 is about when we start getting clear-ish photos. Like that's pretty good, 1998, right? But,
that's really interesting.
But then this sucks back here.
I know. It looked like there was like a little corner or something right in that same place in the modern photograph. Like there was like the diagonal. You're flipping around, so I quit. All right, so I can't.
I don't want to keep trying. We already figured out where the grave was and everything.
Okay,
but it was just that building. We just didn't know where it was.
Yeah. Okay, freaks. Yeah, but it was tough. I didn't know y'all had beaten this to death. I wouldn't have, continued with it. But anyway, we figured it out. It took a while. It really took a while. I think they even did an exhumation that was in the wrong place, and then Gray jumped in, and it took a while to think about it and orient itself, but we got it.
Yeah, I think it was over here, right? Like I think that's where and so interestingly, like I don't know if that's the tree. But it's just off to the side. That was one of the pictures that was out there, and that was another one.
Yeah, well, I'm disoriented. You keep saying it's here, there, and you keep switching around.
Well, I can tell you. See this picture right here? This is that big tree that we keep talking about. See, the big
that tree
in the corner. And so if we go back up to the map here,
I see. Yeah,
that's probably this tree right there, and then this one right there at the top of the hill is this one. The top of Mount Tree. So what we're looking at in that picture is if we go back here a little bit. Like that.
There's the houses in the background.
Mm-hmm. But in this case, this isn't the angle that shows the houses. You have to go that way. I'm just showing you when we were looking at these other photographs that were online. They were just these random photographs like this one. That's again the tree at the top of the hill.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then here's one. I think this is after they exhumed here or something. Because I think right there was that little. So it could be, when you look at this picture here. Let's look at the newspaper. That might be interesting now. Not that one.
Oh, no. Oh, that's not in Vermont though. Yeah, there we are.
Here, let's get this picture open right here. So I think.
Oh, okay. I think you're right. That looks good.
Yeah. So I think if you're like right over there and you looked up there, there's this tree, and then like this tree is this one over here. This like maybe something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. You have it about right oriented, I would say.
So they were able to find it.
Yeah, and he just dug, and there it was. It was good. So, yeah, okay, yeah, and Gray does go fast. Who was saying that? Haha.
Well, I move around fast because it's like I can see what I'm doing. It's hard to, I don't, I know what I'm doing, so that's just what I do.
He's being, quick. He knows what it is. Says, okay, forget it. I know what I'm doing.
I mean, when I'm on the show, I'll slow it down a little bit when it's like, hey, now look at this right here. Now see up in the sky, you can see that mountain range over there. See that? This one's too ambiguous. Like there's just homes over there. That's it.
Yeah, I don't see any. Hey, Freaks, do you have any questions for me? I mean, normally we're sitting here just talking, kicking around the soccer ball here on various cases. I'm just wondering, anybody have questions? They ask me anything or anything like that? Anybody want to have a question?
Well, I had a question for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. He has priority, everybody. What is it, Ray? What is your question?
I was going to ask you, when you do have a mixture of DNA, so I was going to say, it's probably easy to separate a mixture if you know one of the other mixtures. Like if you know one of the profiles, right? If you don't know the profile, and it's just an even mixture, is it even possible to...
Well, I think if it's the even mixture, you could. Now, wait, we're talking about two separate things. There's CODIS and all that, and then there's genealogy. So CODIS, I think if it's 50-50, you know one of them, you can get the other one. For genealogy, I'm not really sure if you know one of them, if you can get the other one. I'm not really sure. There's just, so much statistics. You really have to have, you can't have 50-50. You have to have 70-30, 80-20, something, even with when you know the reference sample, so it's tough, and I don't think you can do it unless it's really a big, difference in the people that are in there, the contributors.
Yeah.
So, that's a good, and, I don't want to go back to that, what we didn't want to talk about, Nancy Guthrie, right? But that's the problem. Just like John Bonet, that's in a family home, and the family DNA is all over the place. And that
but let's say you had a DNA. If they subtracted out the DNA, it feels like that's how you would do it. Like you have this DNA, and then you find a segment where, okay, there's two different types here, but you don't know who it went to. But you do now if you know a known person. So you can keep removing theirs out of it, and then you sort of have this other profile there.
Yeah, well, you can do that for CODIS. Don't worry about that. We don't need to talk about that again, because it works. But for genealogy, it really doesn't, because for CODIS, you're using 20 markers, something like that. And for genealogy, 2.2 million. So the statistics kind of get on your back, after a while. And it's all wiggle room too. So I think if you knew one person, it might help, but I'm not sure that would do it really.
It's weird that it doesn't work. That's got to be something they're going to be able to do, because if you have a known profile, it seems like you would go through and you could do the same thing where you're putting segments together, but you go, wait, this part here doesn't go with the known one, so we got to move that over here.
Right.
And you keep moving things over there, and then you put it back together at at some other point and say, hey, we got like 98% of this sucker, but it's not the known profile.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's messy because you have so many markers, and each marker has a certain statistics associated with it. So I'm saying that's a good question. 50-50. If you already know one of them, call the reference. I think with genealogy, it's still kind of tricky to take out that other, because taking it out, I know what to say. Taking it out, if you have a marker, say from one person, you already know it. How do you know the other guy, whatever's left belongs to the other guy? I mean, it may be statistically the same person, that you just didn't.
And it also could be a triple mixture too. Yeah. You don't know what part of that other one that you thought was just one might be another person.
Yeah. Well, look, great. We had a couple of questions come in. One of them said, how long does it usually take to identify somebody? Now, Olivia put that out there, and I want to address that. And there's another one right after that about going back in someone's heritage. That's also interesting. How long does it take to identify people? Well, it takes anywhere from a minute or two to several, never. And we don't know, if you're talking about DNA in particular, we had one case, East Haven Jane Doe. We worked on the DNA for 3 years. And suddenly, and that was a show Bray did with the detective, me, and the sister. We opened the GEDmatch database, and the sister was sitting right there in front of us. So immediately we had the answer, and she was over the moon about we found her sister. Now that's why y'all have to donate to GEDmatch.
Which case was that? Which case was that?
That was East Haven Jane Doe. Remember, the detective Joe Gordon, was it? And the sister Marianne Collette and me were all together that night.
Yeah.
And he went over how they had to.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? It was
that was crazy. There was like a whole cemetery filled with coffins too, right? Wasn't it? Like they were just filled with people.
Well,
I mean, they didn't even know who they were.
It was Potter's Field, and what happened is they said, we don't know where she's buried, and it was overgrown. So they went and cut the grass and everything. They still didn't know where she's buried. And then they got the sexton of the cemetery to come in because he's retired somewhere else. And they went down to City Hall and looked through all of the burial records. And he thought he had the right, the sequence of how people were buried and where they were buried. So they go back to the cemetery, and he says, she's buried right here. And they opened the grave. They had a new coffin. They had the priest, and it turned out it was a 10-year-old boy. So they went back to square one, and that's where the newspaper article came in. 10 years after they found her, they had sort of an anniversary newspaper article, and the guy was standing on her grave and talking about how they wondered who she was, and there was a tree in the background. So like they did with the torso, they coordinated.
Oh, cool.
They found, and this time they did. They also had a pole. They were told it was the only metal coffin in the cemetery. So the first time they put the pole in, and they went tap, 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 and it was a metal coffin, but it was the wrong one. So then they went back to this new place, and they went tap, tap, tap. It was a metal coffin. And when we had worked on it, for some reason, they had only saved the pubic bone, and we couldn't get any DNA from that. So the second time they go and they do the second exhumation, they open the grave. They don't pull her up yet because they don't know if it's right. And the medical examiner got in the grave, put her hand in the coffin, and the pubic bone was missing. So they knew it was her. And the detective actually called me from standing in the grave, asking me what to collect and take above ground. And so we did that. That took 3 years to get to the point where the lab gave us the results, and her sister was sitting right there. So we knew immediately who she was. It took 5 minutes. So we like those. And there's other cases.
Well, 5 years, other than all the other waiting around to get the, you know what I mean? Like, but once the genealogy happened, it was 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's 3 years, including the DNA, but we have had other cases. Let me think of one that, we did one. It was a homeless guy in Michigan, and when we opened the lab was just, it was a free case. One of the labs gave us a free case, and they just had to schedule it. It wasn't trouble with the DNA. It was just a delay with the lab. They did. It's a longer story, but it was fine. And then finally we opened it, and his son was in the database. So you have that. And then on the other hand, you have cases that you just can't solve. It's going on for a long time. We have some cases that are, 5 years old or more. So
what was what was the next question that somebody asked?
The question was, let me look. How far back can DNA testing go in someone's lineage? That heritage. Now that's really interesting question. It depends on what DNA you use. If you use regular chromosomal DNA, probably you still could get some back to the, we had one case that went back to colonial Virginia. the matches kind of triangulated in colonial Virginia. But if you use mitochondrial DNA, it could go back centuries. If you guys remember the unknown child in the Titanic long ago, there were 2 candidates left when they went to identify the child, and it turned out we did mitochondrial DNA to begin with because everything was so bad, the DNA was so bad, and you usually use mitochondria that's handed along the mother line. Well, when we did that, those 2 kids were identical, and we figured out that they were connected to the same female ancestor in the last few thousand years. So mitochondria will carry through for a long time. And if you're interested in like genealogical time frames, then probably colonial Virginia works, or maybe a little further. Y-DNA, you could go back centuries, really, depending on some things. So, that's a really good question. If you just want to do your genealogy, I'd say, colonial Virginia is probably your limit. If you want to do Y-DNA, a few could be 1600s, 1500s. We have a project with the Fitzpatrick that goes back to about 1100 AD right now. And mitochondrial, that would be forever. It could be thousands of years. What the hell is genealogy?
He's just a goofball. Don't worry about that guy.
Jim, what planet do you live on?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just...
I know. He's just, you know what he is? He always says to me, what the hell is a gigawatt? Because it's just his joke. So now he's joking around. Oh. What the hell is genealogy? He knows what it means. He's just, he clowns around. He's never really serious.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that, Jim.
Yeah, he actually knows what
I don't want to have to explain it. It's like
we got the world's best genealogist on here, and he goes, "What the hell is genealogy?"
Oh
God, man, that's ridiculous.
When I was in graduate school, we had this big. I'll show you a picture of the accelerator with all the knobs, and I'm working with all these brainiacs, and we're doing this nuclear physics, and one of them has a son in school, right? And so the school asked him to come and give a talk. So my friend Tom, is going to go and give a talk to, and he says, "What do y'all want me to talk about?" Thinking about the big machines, and he says, "Can you give us a talk on clouds?"
Oh, jeez.
He goes, "I have no idea. I don't know. I got to look it up in encyclopedia."
Yeah. Well, Jim's over here. He's not even here. He probably left after you.
Oh, he did?
No, he made that comment a long time ago. But hey, guys, we're not at the goal yet in here tonight. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. Thank you.
April says, "I'm adopted," so that really answered my question. April, go take a ancestry DNA test. That will, there's a really high, over 50-50 chance that you're going to find your birth parents if you go take an ancestry DNA. They are on sale. Go to Amazon and buy one. If you get one through Amazon, you don't pay shipping. In fact, I just ordered a couple for a certain project I'm working on. Here, free.
And you bring it to them, and then they take it?
No, what I did, I went on Amazon, and it said free shipping. You can have it tomorrow. There it was. I got, we have a couple in stock just in case we need them. I do adoption searches. We don't, you don't use Ancestry anymore for forensics, but I have an adoption search that I just started, and it's really actually very interesting.
Yeah, and then make sure after you do that to download it, your raw data, and upload it to GEDmatch.
Upload it to GEDmatch.
I'm telling you guys, my thing is I keep wanting to get a hold of somebody, but they got to make it and do it retroactively to every single person who's in prison who currently has to be in CODIS. You immediately, we have this huge fund of billions of dollars that then sends it to GEDmatch 2, the raw, so that you have a deal set up with Ancestry, and you say, listen, we're going to send you their spit saliva. We just want the raw data file back from you.
Yeah.
And they'll do it for like $50 a pop or something.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and then it's all uploaded to GEDmatch for law enforcement use, and maybe everybody else too, because it helps people find relatives, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And it'd be a huge increase in the diversity, et cetera, all around the country in one place. I think it'd be amazing. That would be just dramatically help in.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny? We check on Amazon and they write back to us and they say, hey, there's a bump in our sales. What happened? Did you all talk about Ancestry DNA this evening on Gray Hughes? Because, oh my God, Ancestry writes us and says, bump in our sales.
Well, that's funny because somebody the other day said, Gray, have you ever thought of trying to get like, a work, like do an ad or something for them where you say, hey, if you use this code, blah, 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 and then they give you a kickback, like from Ancestry or 23andMe's out of it. They're done now, right? 23andMe.
No, they're still on there.
What the heck? Look at that, Carl. Jesus.
They regroup.
250. Look at 50 memberships.
Oh, everybody jump in. The water's fine.
Well, wow. Thank you, Carl.
No,
that's insane. Thank you.
23andMe's still there. They regrouped. They lost some people. But they regrouped and now they're doing mostly, I think medical stuff now and trying to look, trying to.
Hey, look at Jim's here. He's still here. He must have heard you. He just was quiet, except there. He said, "Hey, Jim."
Oh, that's Jim's back. Look, don't ask me what genealogy.
Yeah, look at. He asked me. Can you hear this? 21 gigawatts.
No, not really. I hear.
Oh, you could. Okay, here. Let me do it again.
1.21 gigawatts. What the hell is a gigawatt?
See, that's just that's just from the movie Back to the Future, when he goes, "What the hell is a gigawatt?" So he always says that, and then now he just said it for that. Okay.
And a watch pig doesn't boil.
Remember him? Oh, what was his name?
I have that. I have that.
I haven't talked to him in a long time. He was cool.
Any more questions? Come on, you can just ask me.
You guys, come on. This is your time to ask questions. Ask something about the Guthrie case if you want.
Yeah,
come on, here we go.
I'm from New Orleans. I have brothers and sisters that I really don't talk to anymore, except a little bit. And that's it. I live in California. So I guess anybody have any interesting questions? Everybody's just so busy saying hi to everybody else.
Yeah, well, yeah. let's do the. Wow, she notices the same stuff I do. No, let's see. In the Guthrie case, what are some of the things that you've heard? Because people want to know about that.
The funny thing.
She's been on 19 shows around the country about this.
I will be on Fox News 10 Phoenix on Monday, and the interview here is 1 o'clock here. So I don't know when it airs. I don't know if it's taped or live, live tape, you know what I'm saying? But you can check that out. How more complicated is mixed?
I already asked that question.
Well, look, I want the Bengal cat here once. I want to say, let's put it this way.
I just asked that.
They do it for CODIS, but it took 30 years to figure that out. So they got it figured out. Now for genealogy, it's going to take a while. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
A twin adopted together at 3. Oh, so there's twins adopted. Get an ancestry test, and then that'll fix you, really. No question on that. Okay, here's Nancy again. Too late to test the door. Yeah, it is too late to test the doormat, because the only thing that you get is the dirt on the guy's feet, and everybody else has walked on that doormat. So that's about it. They have really probably cleaned out that whole house, and hopefully they wore gloves. And yes, I think there were 2 people. I've always thought that.
Yeah, I just think there's one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. Let me show you on my screen. I got this.
Yeah, but how could there only be one person?
Yeah, because watch this. All right, so here's this guy, right, and he's walking around. I mean, I don't know if you can see it.
There's a question. After that, we're going to talk about improvements and artifacts and stuff. But Come on. Why you? Okay, that's the world.
Okay, here let me explain it to you. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Why I just think there's one.
Yeah.
All right, look. So here's the house right here, right?
Yeah.
And so you see this guy on camera. I mean, I think there could be two. There's just no evidence that there's two.
Okay.
So the person that you see on camera, he walks through there and he removes the camera because he knows he's going to be parking a car right there. Other than that, he didn't care. He stood right in front of the camera. He was,
Yeah.
he was going to park a car, and after he parked the car there, he left for about 20 minutes to make sure that nobody was notified or police were showing up. So he went back, and I have him kind of just hiding out like over here or something. Then he came back after he saw nobody was coming. Maybe he had a scanner, who knows. Then he comes back over here with his car. So he picked up his car over there and he drove the car over here, pulls it in, and around 2:06 gets out of the car. Then he walks around the back of the house, and when he jumps over this fence, that's when at 2:12 this camera here picks him up, and then he goes inside the house. He gets Nancy, opens the door, and she's still alive. She's coughing up blood as she's coming out, and he's holding, he's got a gun on her, and he's got her right arm, and she's like, and they just make their way to the car that was parked here and leave. So it's really,
I get it.
It's not hard to do, but with one person, but there could be another person.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Just a minute. There was a question that came in. In age now, this is Maureen. Please, poorly, don't even know birth name. Will I be able to complete yeah, Maureen, when you sign up for the Ancestry, just put your adopted name and your adopted birth date, and just put that. That's fine. And then that will be, and then you could establish what your real name was or what your biological name is. You can do that. People do that every day. Just put who you legally are.
I actually got mad at I had a friend back in the day, and he turns out his mom was dating some guy that was in Vietnam, I think, and then he got killed over there. And he said he never wanted to go figure out who the dad was, and I just thought that was so selfish in his case, because that means like his parents would have at least known that they had a grandkid out there that was living. And I just thought, after he said that, I said, you're an idiot. Get out of here.
Yeah. So
I don't know why. I just had such a disdain for that comment.
No, wait. The guy, his father died in Vietnam.
Yeah, he never even met him.
Oh, he didn't know who he was?
He didn't know who he was or anything. But by the way, I think he was adopted or something. I don't remember exactly how it went, but like his mom, I think he was adopted by a dad or something later, but his biological father, he never met, and he died in Vietnam. And I just thought, I go, have you ever talked to got a hold of the family? He goes, nah, I don't really want to. Well, it's like, dude, it's like, God, come on, you could have made the life of those people, met some other people, but at least the grandparents would go like, they'd be so, I don't know how to explain it, but thrilled, like they lost their son, but they actually have a grandkid,
Yeah.
I don't know. People do what they want. For me, it bothered me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've met a lady. In fact, believe it or not, I was at a house of a bunch of family called Fitzpatrick, and she had been adopted. She was part of the family, I forgot, but she'd been adopted. And she said she didn't want to know her birth parents because she was happy with how things turned out. And I'd say that's rare, because some people, you're adopted, you want to know, like you have red hair and nobody else does. You like Italian food and you wonder why. It tells you more about who you are. It's not so much the parents are, loving your parents or your step parents or your adopted parents. That is one issue. But also the other issue is who you are. Where did you come from? And I've met, adoptees. A lot of them know who they are, and it all falls into place. They know immediately why they like horses, why they like Italian food, why they like to cook. And it's all part of who they, their birth.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it really, you know what? And I'll tell you this is really even weirder. Joseph Newton Chandler, if you think about that first case we worked on a long time ago, he was the guy who stole identity, Joseph Newton Chandler's identity. Ohio. And the real one was this 9-year-old boy that died in a car accident in 1945 in Dallas. And he stole the identity. And this man who stole the identity died under that name in 2002 in Ohio. So they didn't know how he stole the identity, but that's who he was. Well, anyway, we figured out it was this guy from New Albany, Indiana. Okay, his name was Robert Nichols. Okay, so we got that. And so we started, in checking out Robert Ivan Nichols' family. Where did he come from? Why did he change identities? We never quite figured that out. However, we found his grandchildren or great-grandchildren on Facebook. And the only picture we had of this guy was at a costume party. And he was dressed as a gangster with a fedora and a pinstripe suit and a white tie and 5 o'clock shadow. And so fast forward, we found a picture of his great-grandchildren. He had 3 great-granddaughters that never met him. And they were dressed for Halloween. And 2 of them were dressed as fairies. They were about 10 years old. And the 3rd one was dressed as a gangster with a fedora, a white tie, 5 o'clock shadow, and a pinstripe suit.
Yeah. It's so weird, too. And you always hear the ones with twins, how they marry somebody with the same name and they have the same, one of the things I was just wondering about is it almost feels like there's some kind of memories and things that get, that you don't even realize, but get transported to your children and so forth.
Genetic memory.
Yeah, it's really, because you ever seen that? There's a planaria, this stupid little wormy looking creature, but they've actually done these experiments where they take the planaria and they shock it so that it goes through a maze in a certain way. And then they've chopped the planaria up into parts, and then the other little planaria that are just sitting there eat it. And they all immediately know how to get through that maze. What the hell is that? I mean, that's some crazy shit. So it feels like there's something that it can be transferred,
Yeah, it's crazy. It says that Bengal Cat has a question. Is losing evidence due to a mechanical failure of a fridge or something common in DNA storage? Not really. It seems like there's a lot of private storage companies. Well, there's a lot of private DNA companies that look into genetics, DNA of genetics or disease or, other reasons that, storage of there's a biobank of DNA from different animals and different plants. I don't think that's too common to have that. I would say they probably have a backup pretty quick.
You know which one I hear all the time? There was a flood. I mean, it's just every time a case, you call these old sheriffs and everything, and a case that's cold that they haven't solved, they always, almost every time they go, well, there was a flood back and we lost all of our dollars.
Yeah,
Right,
I heard
buddy.
about the floods. Here's Bengal said, I found out my dad wasn't my dad when I was 21. Messed me up. I bet you it would. I haven't looked for my real dad. That's up to you. And if you feel comfortable, I'm sorry, let's put it this way. I imagine your parents did the best they could, telling you, not telling you. They had reasons and they were, you were a kid, they were an adult. So, that's a lot that behind that. So.
Was he a good dad? Was he a good dad? The dad that raised you till you were 21? That's all that really matters right there. Yeah. I mean, I have a biological father and he was a pile of crap. He was a great artist. I mean, freaking amazing artist, very talented person. But my stepdad is the one I call dad. He was the one that was there. He's the one that raised me. There's a reason that somebody, So as long as you were raised well by the other person, just be happy with that one. Yeah. I know it's kind of a weird feeling for sure, but I'm basically in the same situation. I just happen to know who my dad was. Yeah. What a pile of crap he was. So, I mean, that's all,
Well,
is that better?
April came, well, it depends, because if you liked Italian food and so you know that at least. I mean, people have ideas of who their father, mother, real parents, bio parents, let's say, should be. And sometimes it's not that way. April says she knows her mom, but not her dad, because he didn't say the right name and everything. You could find that out if you wanted to, but it would be up to you, because your bio dad, no matter who he was, he had parents, he had cousins, and they might be in ancestry. Who knows? Didn't meet my bio dad. This was Jenna Rue, 46. A lot of questions were answered. Well, I'm glad. If you needed them answered, there you have them. When I finally, here's April again, met my biological mom and sisters, I couldn't believe the similarities. And we had never, when you meet your bio parents, I can't say they might be bank robbers. I don't know. But you suddenly feel, yourself. I can't really say that because it doesn't happen to me, but I've seen the transformation. And when I do an adoption search and I find the answer, it's usually late at night because that's when I'm not doing this stuff. And I say, should I hurry up and call them in the middle of the night and tell them? And I say no, because I want them to have a really good night's sleep as the old person. Because when I tell them who they are, all this stuff about who their parents are, it's going to be a completely new life. They're going to be, it's going to open up all kinds of, and I want them to have a good start in the day with that when that happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I agree. Linda Howell said, become a channel member because it makes a difference. Helps, donations, several tiers. Yeah, we appreciate your donations, freaks, because we love the freaks very much. And we were MIA for a while for various reasons, but now we're back. And thank you so much.
I usually there's only like 1 month I didn't send money in. So at least we were building it up still, even those times, a little bit. Not hugely, but bigly.
Jessica asked, will it be harder to garner information with IgG if the abductor in Nancy's case is of Mexican descent? If it's a mixture, don't even ask the question, right? Because this is Nancy's house and her DNA is all over the place, so it's going to be a mixture. And we really can't do that kind of mixture. The bad guy has to be the major contributor and a clear major contributor. So whether or not he's Hispanic is probably not even an issue right now. That is way down the line. However, if it all cleared up and they did get DNA and they did do genealogy, yes, the Hispanic would be pretty hard to, but not impossible. We've done some, and it's not impossible.
Yeah, your internet's been working a lot better. You look really clear now, finally.
Well, I feel clear. Thank you, Greg.
Well, I mean, that's to be seen, but yeah, you look really clear on the screen.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. She gave me a little kissy and said, we love you. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, well, that I'm not adopted, but I did take a DNA test to see if I was adopted, but I wasn't. I'm really related to those people. It's kind of hard to believe, but yeah, I'm related to those people. So
let me see what we look like on this one. Hey, look at that! Wow. Okay, right there. All right, is that better? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, I know. Don't worry. I don't like to see myself on video. Okay.
Raven said, do you think there'll be a time where they put your DNA into a database at birth?
It could be. I forgot. Maybe there's a country or two that does that, and there's good and bad, of course. The state of New Jersey collects blood cards from newborns. I believe that's correct, and mainly I think it's from the umbilical cord, and it's probably for more like identification purposes, legal identification and stuff. It was used for a FIG case, an IgG case. I forgot why. There was a reason that they wanted to. It wasn't to identify a bad guy. It was more like to identify that this certain person was a cousin or something like that.
I think they'd have to have a really strong safeguards. Like you couldn't use it for insurance purposes. You can't use it for, things that are sort of like. I think it should only be able to be used for stuff like law enforcement and things like that. If there's like never for like insurance or trying to say, oh man, this person, he might be a criminal. We got to look at him because his father and his brother are criminals. I don't know, stuff like that.
I'll put a rein on some of that, But yeah, who knows? I mean, the genie's out the bottle. and people know how to. Oh, and there was a question about artifacts I meant to answer. Yeah, it's getting. You see, the problem is, people can do touch DNA now. You can get DNA from a few cells and analyze them sometimes. But the problem is the noise. The minute that you get that sensitivity, you're going to pick up DNA from a lot of other things. And so then you start to get mixtures again. We go back to the evil mixtures. So, you do like hair, it's getting better and better all the time. Touch DNA, it's getting better and better, but watch out. And, there's, even DNA survives the laundry, and you can get DNA from something that's been laundered. But what does that mean?
And bleach, under bleach now.
Yeah. What does that mean? DNA, you can have several people in a kitchen opening cabinets and stuff, and their DNA lingers. So it could be something happens in the kitchen, a crime, and you have to go. There's going to be DNA all over the place.
So you were doing this a long time ago, the Y DNA. Did it ever cross your mind? When was the first time it crossed your mind regarding, because these, Ancestry and all these websites have been open. Mm-hmm. Had it crossed your mind? When did it cross your mind? The other, the STR, is that what it's called? Right? Yeah. Like when did that angle come into your mind at some point?
2010.
Yeah. And did you guys ever get to try it?
Yeah, that was a Sarah Yarborough case. I was falling asleep one night and I said, the markers they use for genealogy are the same markers they use for the forensics. And, and then at that time, mainly genealogy was the Y DNA with the STRs and everything. So I said, gee, I bet you if I went to the police and they gave me a Y profile from the crime scene, I might be able to get a last name. And that's 2010.
Right, 2010. So, but when did the current version, did it pop into your head around the time of the Golden State Killer, or was it already something you thought about?
I was already doing that. I was already doing it since 2010. In fact, I worked on the Golden State Killer with the Y DNA.
Oh, the Y DNA, yeah. But it's a different type. Isn't it different than that? Just, doing the regular IgG isn't Y DNA, right?
I get it. No, I get it. Wait. There's two markers that are used in general. One is short tandem repeats, which are chunks of DNA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are CODIS and those are wide STRs, short tandem repeats, STRs. So CODIS uses those, and they're chunks, 20 chunks of DNA all over the place, and they see if your chunk matches the one at the crime scene. But if you have a mixture of sexual assault or something, you can the males have the Y chromosomes. You get the chunks off the Y chromosome, and you can use that independently. So if you have that too as a confirmation, but then they use the same markers as genealogy uses. So one night I figured, gee, you give me that Y profile, etc. Well, along the way, a new marker developed called a SNP, and that's a point. It's single, like point. And that's a different marker, and we use the STRs. There's 20 or so. The SNPs there's 1.2 million.
Okay, so how about that part? So you were already doing basically Y, but the SNP, the way that they're doing it now, did that cross your mind before it became big?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because Sarah Yarborough, that first case, when it sort of went cold again, I started looking at SNPs. And I tried to do SNP 6 times until IgG kicked in, and then we solved it. 6 times, I had the STRs, we had the name Fuller, all the story.
Oh,
but
cool.
It wasn't going anywhere, so I went to a company in Seattle that did SNPs, and I said, we have what I really was interested in is we had a suspect, a person of interest called William Fuller, and his Y matched the crime scene, but he wasn't the killer. His CODIS markers didn't match. So, but because the Y match, he was actually a cousin. He was actually a cousin of the killer. And there goes Gray playing with his stupid phone. There he goes. So when I did that, we didn't know much about William Fuller. How he could be connected. So I started SNPs right there. I did SNPs, and I went to this company in Seattle to do the snips. Then I went to 23andMe. They didn't answer my emails. I went to UNT, University of North Texas in Houston, in Dallas, and they couldn't do the snips. They weren't validated for it. Then I went to a company called Identitas, and we did they were making a chip that you could do snips on. So for a pilot study, I gave them 12 cold cases to put on their chips. We were doing snips, and then I went to somewhere else. Oh yeah, University of Southern California. I went 6 different places to try and do the snips, and finally, when IgG kicked in, that's when we solved it.
How long has GEDmatch been around?
Since 2010.
So that's you could actually, were you able to upload the those snips?
Because it was so small. Oh, well, yeah, in 2019 we could. But
yeah, okay.
In 2010, that wasn't even possible because the database was so small.
Yeah.
There's only a few people. Somebody asked a question.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see. Somebody asked, oh, yeah, is this the lady who has a PhD in nuclear physics from Duke? Yes, the one and only. Thanks, Andy Kane.
She's an actual, when people say, man, you're like a regular old rocket scientist. Well, she was one.
Yeah. Is there a particular case that you've worked on that has stayed with you or that you think of often? The ones I'm working on right now, I stay up at night. Last night I was trying to figure out something in my sleep. Yeah.
Well, Daniel Armentrout was pretty big, and Boy in the Box for you guys probably. Boy in the Box,
Boy in the Box was great. It doesn't stay with me after I'm done though, because I'm on to the next puzzle. I have not worked directly with Bennett Greenspan, but I use his services a lot. So I guess so. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sarah Yarrow case. Yep. Thank you very much, Jessica. Sarah and their parents, this have gone on with their lives. Is there a particular case that you were? Oh, I already answered that. The one I'm working on, whatever currently I'm working on, sticks with me.
I think Armentrout's the one that I remember the most for us. Hey, what about remember the one that there was the serial killer victim? It was the black lady. There was like 11 victims, 10 were identified, but one wasn't. We did that one, but we weren't able to say the name because the family didn't want her name out there because she was a sex worker.
Yeah, I think that was up in Michigan. Yeah.
It was like the guy had killed 11 people, or at least found guilty of all 11, even when she wasn't identified.
Yeah. Somebody hears my accent. Thank you, Tandy Kane. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I have my accent. I'm from New Orleans,
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound like, who's that one guy? Carvel? Yeah, I don't know.
They're out there. They live among us. I tried to get rid of that's how I sprained I told you I sprained my ankle twice within a couple of weeks. And I'm in a boot. Well, the second time was crossing a street during Mardi Gras down in New Orleans. And it was I was going to have dinner with somebody. So I'm crossing the street. The cops are all over the crowds. I'm crossing the street. Parade has not started yet. I did a face plant in the middle of the street. So the cops run up. I'm going, help me. So all the cops run up, and they're so sweet. They're New Orleans cops. The cop lady picks me up. She says, darling. Oh, darling, you all right, darling? Oh, you all right, sweetheart? Honey, okay. It was so sweet. I said, yeah, darling, I'm fine.
Yeah, she sprained your ankle. You sprained it twice recently, right?
I know. I'm just clumsy, and I'm paying for it. I have that problem. So,
but then I heard her, like yesterday I was talking to her and she was walking briskly.
Well, I had
man, she's like spraying. She got 2 casts on, and she's still just boom right down the road.
Right, I have the boot on, which helps.
Yeah.
And after I get off the show, I'm going to go for a walk. I go for a walk every day.
Yeah, it's weird too because it looks like when she's walking, there's ski boots on both legs. Those ski boots they're just so big, but she's just like.
One.
Okay, well, I was trying to make it seem like it was 2 different ankles, but.
Yeah, Shadow, oui, je parle français. Et vous? Yeah, I speak French. Do you? Yeah, glad nothing was broken. Boy, I'm glad nothing was broken. Oh, Candy Cane lives in Mandeville. You know where Jenny Lane is? My sister lives on Jenny Lane. I will not reveal her identity online, though. She lives on Jenny Lane in Mandeville. Walking is great. Everybody should go. All freaks, when you're off the show, go out and take a walk.
Hey, Carl's trying to do a challenge. I don't know what it is. All right, let's see. Well, come on, you guys, ask more questions. She's got to go on her walk pretty soon, but if you have any more questions for her, this is your...
Yeah, I'm just hanging out.
She knows more than just about everybody.
Oh, please don't. Oh, très bien. Merci, Shadow.
Oh, jeez. There we go. There we go.
Okay, is babyfoot is the best French term. Table soccer. I don't know. I don't get that. Le babyfoot. I do not know what you mean. Yeah, so anyway, Gray, I wanted to say that you've given me about Nancy Guthrie. I like your explanation. The thing is, I think something happened at the back of the house. That something was.
Well, it did.
Yeah.
The guy came over the fence. It set off the motion sensor. He broke the lights, and then he went inside the home.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because I thought. Well, I'll tell you what I thought, but I have to rethink it now. That the guy that came to the front door, somebody went around back and let him in. Went around the back.
I mean, anything's possible. There's just no evidence of that.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's say you're at the front door. Wouldn't you want to take off for a little bit and make sure nobody, like you're setting off an alarm. He could see the camera moving, right? And then he goes into the house and he's in there for 15 minutes. Wouldn't you want to know that nobody was notified or... I mean, it seems like that would...
I tell you, you have explained something. I understood he was he in the house all that time? Or are they doing the time between him looking at the camera and then her pacemaker?
Yeah, they always say this. They go 147 and then 228 is basically the time frame because 228, her pacemaker is too far from the receiver in the house and she's been removed. But the thing is 147, the camera was disconnected at the front door. So, and then the sheriff said that a camera at 212 picked up motion, and then here's what the sheriff said. He goes, yeah, the camera picked up motion of a person, and he goes, but I guess it could have been an animal. And so that's when I go, okay, boom, he's really in this, and the FBI agent went, oh shit, because he's now admitting that it's an outdoor camera, because why would there be a cougar or something running around inside the home? So it's got to be at 212 is probably the time where another camera in the back picked him up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or?
Yeah, it does. And I tell you why it makes sense, because there's this huge amount of time that you've got to, 40 minutes you've got to account for. And standard-wise, you'd say, well, they went in the house and they're doing something. But maybe not. Maybe you're right that he came to the front door, he disabled the camera, and he went and he just waited to see if anything happened. He went sort of around the corner, sort of waited. And then he came back, went through the back, and so on. So that time, most of that time, he's actually not there. Nobody is there, and nobody really brought that up. But I'd say that's probably a very interesting explanation.
Well, thank you. I think that actually and a lot of people don't say that. That's the theory that I've put out because I feel like. I take little parts, like somebody said, hey, maybe he didn't go right into the house. And then you just sort of put it together. And then he's only in the house for 12 or 14 minutes, which is more reasonable than saying, oh, wow, I was in the house for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, I'll tell you what, I'm really going to have to maybe discard this theory that he had, the accomplice went around the back. They had walkie-talkies. The accomplice went in and sort of, figured out something or set her up or woke her. She had hearing aids, so she couldn't hear.
Yeah.
So she took those out at night, and so that's what I heard. So then, anyway, she's older. She can't walk very well. So somebody's in the house kind of getting all that organized and then walkie-talkied him and said, hey, we're okay. We're ready to go. So I was thinking about that because the front door has not been broken in. It's got the security door.
So you can only come in from the other side, basically.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, here's the thing. You can't completely, your theory cannot be, I can't say that that's not possible. I'm just trying to come up with something that seems more.
I like yours a little better. But the question is, why not just go through the back door anyway? Why go into the front door first?
Well, the reason he went to the front door first is because he's going to be parking his car there, and he knew that camera would film his car unless he removed it. So he went there to remove the camera. He didn't know that the cameras weren't working great, like she hadn't paid her bill. So the only reason he went to that front door was so that his car would not be filmed, because he knew that he was going to be taking her out right there. Because look how close that really is. I mean, when you look at that, her room's right there. You come right out and you're gone. I think her room's right here.
Oh, in the back.
That's her little patio that goes out there.
Yeah.
And so, like, right here is, look how short that distance is from basically the door to here. Now, if you took her out over here, well, I mean, first of all, you'd have to drive here, and then you're sort of trapped. Sorry, you're sort of trapped if you drive back here.
No, what I'm saying is the accomplice went in the back and then opened the front door, and the guy was waiting, and they took her away. So in front of the house for a few minutes.
Yeah, and the car, he didn't want the car parked there for 45 minutes. He just wanted it there for like 20, maybe.
The car was not there long.
Right, that's right.
Right, the car was not there long. I mean, they came and picked her up and left. Now, whether, he scouted out ahead of time, went through the back, and he did the whole thing, or he had an accomplice to go around the back, the front door was not broken in. You can look at it, and it's fine. Somebody let him in, or he let himself out loud. The only question is, would they need somebody to carry her? Well, you don't know. I like your idea, probably not. I thought they may have wrapped her up in a tarp. And then the question is what the motive is, and nobody really knows. Has figured that out. But they keep saying they might know. Because do you feel, here's April again, do you feel it's possible that there might be touch or saliva DNA from his gloves on the doorknob or inside the house, since he did have the mouth white and then touched it? I'm telling you, honey, if they do, it's such a minor contribution to Nancy Guthrie's own DNA in the house. Just don't even think about it. He didn't leave. Yeah, he had the thing in his mouth, etc. But unless he absolutely, mirrored something, and even that would be a mixture, because Nancy Guthrie's DNA is all over, same as John Benet's DNA. The Ramsey DNA is all over the place.
Yeah, let's see. It's just it's a pretty, it's interesting, like the little timeline element. I mean, they know exactly when the person confronted her because of the heart monitor. It's going to spike dramatically right at the moment.
Well, no. What it does. Now that's an open question.
Well, it's not a monitor. It's that machine that's getting her heart rate and shit.
No, wait. She's got a pacemaker, and the pacemaker, independent of wherever she is, the pacemaker is going to work. Now she comes and she has her phone with her. The phone just collects data. And I'm not even sure it's in real time. It collects data and it dumps the data every 12 hours, 24 hours. It's not a continuous heart monitor. So I don't know what happened to that data, but more than likely, it went away or they don't have it. Nobody's really talked about it, but it's not a real time thing. All you know is that it's not connected after a certain point. It's not a real time. If you're having a heart attack, they're going to call the hospital.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is when she's still sitting in the house and she's sleeping and the person walks up to her, it's going to show something on the thing that collects the data in the house. It's going to show a spike in the rate of her heart. Yeah. So they're gonna know the exact time that these people confront, or the person confronted her, or the people.
Well, they might know that, but again, they would remove her, and the fact that they moved her away from the phone and it was too distant at the same time.
Yeah, it's 2:28, so it could be 2:14 or so when they confronted her, and then 2:28 is when she was too far to send any more signals on the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So those could be like, I mean, she could have been heart rate increasing, and just all over the place for 14 minutes in there, and then she's removed.
Yeah, agreed. So it's haven't really released that, but they did say that as of 2/28, it no longer was connected to that iPhone. So that's close, close. But sometimes, minutes like that make a difference.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Linda. She appreciates everything. Thank you, Linda. Somebody's got an iguana. Yeah, really, I like the freaks are really doing well tonight.
Yeah, it's been awesome. We got a challenge going right here. We just need 2 more gifted memberships. And apparently Carl's going to donate 20 more, which is amazing. Thanks.
That's a lot of memberships. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, well, we got to get somebody to get the other 2.
Yeah, so let's see what else. Yeah, so I hope they find her. It's going to be pretty tough now. I don't think she's with us anymore. And it's a big mystery why this happened. And if anybody, I think the ransom notes were fake. Just stupid people trying to capitalize on tragedy. He said if bent over the plant with his flashlight on in his mouth and pulled the plant, then both the door and the leaves fell off. And no, don't even think about it. No, the lava might burn the leaves. Just don't even go there. No, probably not. Bent over the plant with the flashlight and pulled the plant and brought it. No, it's too much. It's too complicated. No. So,
I know, yeah. That's one of the things that people do. They just get this little vision, and they write this long thing that's just so complex, and it's dude, just
don't think too hard about that.
Yeah, don't overthink stuff.
No, don't think too hard. No, you look in the house and you swab the doorknob, and he had gloves on. You swabbed the doorknob. Okay, good luck with that. And then they can say, yeah, but he could have put the gloves on. No, don't. There's so many people messing with that doorknob. I think that they were looking at the neighborhood earlier in the week, or they scouted out the neighborhood to see how things were going. The coming and going, and what is it called? Surveillance. Oh, okay, yeah. Surveillance, and they were.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I don't think the jammer or any of the electrical shit. I don't think that's anything at all. I mean, if there was a jammer, why was there clear video? There was clear video.
Thanks,
Carl.
That's filler. That's when the jammer and stuff like that come up in the news. That's filler.
Yeah, well, people are saying, "Oh, he's got a jammer," because there is a little. Let me show you. Let me see what you think. I think it's
pocket. I think it's a walkie-talkie in his pocket.
Yeah, or a scanner. The scanners look just like that. That would make a hell of a lot of sense too, right? A scanner while he's waiting to see if cops are listening.
Yeah.
There it was.
The whole thing about holding the hose. Look at that. What is that? Something sticking out of his pocket?
Yeah, it's like right there. This thing.
Really? Yeah, that's not just the pocket itself. That is like an antenna.
You can see the shine right there. Yeah, it's like there's something there.
It's an antenna. Now, does it look like there's a square thing stuck in the pocket? Because
it's hard to see. Yeah, but right there's a really good. Look at that right there.
Yeah, that's definitely something sticking out. Because I thought it would be a walkie-talkie. Now,
it could be. Well, if there's a walkie-talkie, then there likely is another person, if that's what that is.
Yeah. Now, great. And later on, when he starts to turn around, I thought I saw that pocket something square in the pocket. Like you could see something was in the pocket in the shape of it.
Hey, let me say. Hold on one second. Hey, thanks, Carl, man. That's been amazing tonight. Thank you so much.
Carl. Wow, thank you. Oh, it thinks it's a mapping device. Okay. Well, we don't really know, but throw that in the pile. Now, when he turns around, he's going to turn around. Okay, now the pocket.
See, that's sort of interesting right there. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Now, what is?
That's the same pocket.
Is that the strap to the?
Be funny if it's not even a walkie-talkie or anything. It's just there's this little part of a phone. It's kind of out the side that's shiny, and we're all just
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
Look at that. Look at that. That is something there.
like a strap. Looks like words right there.
I'm wondering
something.
if it's a strap on the backpack hanging down. But the thing in the pocket, no, okay, there's something else in the pocket. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at like to see what this is right here.
Okay. I don't know what it, that is interesting. He's got something in his pocket.
Got like a string on it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I see the string. Okay, never thought of this.
I'm going back over here. Let me.
He's got that flashy stuff on his backpack, you know, the reflectors. And that bothers me. Why does he want those?
They're not actually. Yeah, there's reflectors on the backpack, and that looks almost like lights. They're so bright, but those aren't lights. They're
reflectors. Why do you have reflectors on the backpack? You know.
Well, he probably didn't even think through any of that shit. Everything he's got on is cheap. Stuff you could get at Walmart, you know.
No, but you're gonna break in a house and you're gonna kidnap somebody and you have reflectors on your backpack.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that when you.
I wonder if you can see that right there. Was that it?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's weird. It's sticking way up. Let me just look at that again. Because it looks way higher at that. See, it's way up there, right? And then it sort of falls in. Wow, that's crazy. Look at that. Look at that. See, and then it sort of falls more into the pocket. But right there it's higher. See that?
Uh-huh.
Because this thing right there is that piece. Because watch how this.
Uh-huh.
See that? Boom, it's right there now. See?
Well, it could have. I mean, it could have just. Oh, you know what probably happened?
Oh, and then it
there it is again. What happened is it's the lip of the pocket. As he moves, the lip of the pocket kind of goes over it.
Up and down, yeah.
It's there, but okay, now go forward. You see, when he reaches out, his coat is covering it. Now keep going. It's gonna.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
The coat that's moving. Yeah, you see the coat. It's the lip of the pocket that is.
Yeah, it's just kind of in his pocket, and his coat, when he moves up his jacket, it kind of pulls it up higher over the heavier object that's in the pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So if you now later in the video, there's something square in one of his pockets. I think it might be the other one. Yeah, something like that.
So let's look at these. Okay, so I mean, it's weird because that's the same pocket that we're looking at, but now you can't see that, but you see something sort of swinging over there in there. It's just weird. It's like, what the hell's happening?
I don't know. You know, I heard something that on the news that really, you know.
Oh, look, right there. That's still that's the pocket.
Yeah, that's the pocket. Okay, I think there was something in the pocket that was getting to me.
Huh. That's weird shit.
Yeah, there's something really, you know, not really kosher there.
Yeah, it's not the clearest video in the world either.
Well, yeah. It's funny how people on the internet just really picked it apart and, you know, did come up with some interesting things.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the thing in his mouth. And then people are saying, like, later on when he goes inside the house, he probably would have taken it out of his mouth. He wouldn't, or, you know, when you have something in your mouth and then it would drip saliva because it's like, man, your mouth's open. But who the hell knows? I mean,
don't think too hard about things like that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't do any, I just go, yeah. I mean, that's just.
Jessica says she agrees with me, not so smart to have the, you know, the bright little reflectors on the.
Yeah.
Your cursor is right on top of the video. Could you move the cursor? You know, okay, that's better. That's what I like. People hate when people give a presentation and a cursor's right on top of the PowerPoint. And okay, thank you.
I'll put it right back.
That thing, get rid of it.
Yeah, you know, there's these people that were saying it's not on the video; it's over there. I need it.
Just move it off the screen.
Here's this other thing. Not that one.
Yeah, and those are the blood. The blood is aspirated.
All right, so yeah, that's what I was expirated. But see this right here. Watch this right here. See this? People were saying that that's a cell phone, and I go, no, it's not. It's actually part of the plant because it's right next to the camera. Watch this. So see that plant right there? Watch how it moves with it.
Well, there's some
I have to go the other direction. Hold on, watch.
Some kind of reflection or something.
See that?
Yeah,
well, no, it's just all it really is I figured it out. Is the plant it's right on the camera itself, and I'll show you why. Watch, and yes, there's a reflective value.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but that looks like part of the flashlight to me.
No, I'm talking about this thing right over here.
Yeah, the bright thing, the little bright.
Yeah,
thing.
that's not. It's not because look. See how it's bright over here? That's the same brightness. This just looks bright because it's surrounded by darkness. But this right here is part of that plant. Watch how it moves with it. Watch.
Oh, okay.
Like when I go like this, see how it goes? It'll go up. It went up with the plant there. Down, up, down, up, and that right there, it's actually touching. It's so bright. See this little black spot there? That's the part that's literally touching the screen of the camera.
Okay. All right.
Because you get that, see, like right here. See this part up here? That part's touching the lens because it's so close.
Yeah.
And then look how bright this is. It's the same brightness as that.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, that's fair enough.
So people were saying that was a cell phone, but if it was a cell phone, how come it got dim right there?
No, let me tell you. They would have figured it out a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, you can do geofencing. You guys know about that, right? And but especially in a neighborhood like this where there's really no activity during the night. You know, there's only that one car. That one. He didn't have a cell phone. He had a walkie-talkie, if he had anything at all.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about scanners. There's a little discussion here about the scanners. He may or may not have had one. You know, and they don't. You can. I'm sure they don't make noise like a jet plane flying over here. I'm sure they're. And even sitting in his car, nobody would have heard the scanner.
Maybe went to his car and he listened to it at his car.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
You're thinking too hard, guys.
Yeah, I think just the whole, everybody trying to be a jammer. Ooh, it's so cool. So they only used the jammer at the neighbors' homes, not the one he was going into. And by the way, if he had a jammer, why did he take the camera off? He just turned the jammer on. Hey, everything's good now. Yeah. You don't need to do that because it disrupts the video.
They have to turn over every stone. They have to do stuff like that. But it turns out to be fillers. For and the neighbors report having an outage at a certain time, and that's fine. You have to go through all of that. It's important. You don't want to.
Yeah.
It turns out a lot of that goes.
Do you ever notice how they always report? The neighbors say there was outages after somebody else said that there was an outage.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're all awake at 2:30, seeing an outage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, there's one credible one that said that their video said unavailable right at that time, which is interesting. So maybe the power that was turned off down the street was an attempt. They didn't know it. They just turned something off and they thought, oh, this is going to do it, but it didn't touch the house they went to. And they didn't have a jammer or anything, so they had to remove the camera, and they still went in.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's
Yeah,
just.
let me just say, don't think too hard about all of that.
I don't spend any time on that stuff.
I'm just telling the freaks. I'm advising the freaks. Think about something else. And so we don't know. And one thing I did hear, which I thought was pretty interesting, is that the most safe place you can ever feel to be would be in your house. Your own house. And the biggest risk a criminal could ever take would be to break into your house. And this guy is taking a big risk. Okay, at face value, breaking into somebody's house or going into somebody's house at 2:30 in the morning. Now, how does he reduce? Number one, he's got to have a real reason for trying to do that. And number two, before he goes, he's going to mitigate the risk by doing certain things. And, one of them is, like Grace said, maybe being around the neighborhood, and just checking it out during the day when it wouldn't be suspicious if there's a car driving past, doing research in the back in his own time there. My back itches, sorry.
Got a little back scratcher there?
Yes, I do. And my friend gave it to me.
If I was there, I'd scratch it up for you.
Yeah, thank you. I need it too. So then, so the thing is, the guy mitigated the risk. He did not look like he was worried. He walked up. He's doing the thing with the bushes and the flowers. He went in. He did his job. He got out, and it just didn't seem that he was concerned with getting caught or getting seen or getting.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people overthink he tried to put a plant on there, like he's just some dumb idiot person, and it's like maybe he just thought he goes there, I'm going to be able to deal with it. I really don't even care that much.
Well, the thing
and they haven't caught him yet, so
that would be a question of just having a piece of tape to put over.
Yeah. So that means he wasn't planning very incredibly well for that one thing.
Yeah.
But he might have thought, I'm going to take this thing off, but hey, maybe I can put a plant on there first. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah. Well, he just was apparently a little bit confused about the presence of the camera. So that tells me he had not been on the porch before, or he had not really, they have another picture of him without the backpack at some point. So he hadn't really, that was a kind of a detail he had missed or he hadn't thought about. But otherwise, as far as the location of the house and the person in it and the ability to go in the middle of the night and do all this, he seemed to have that, he was not very concerned that he would get caught. And that's a high risk thing to go into someone's house in the middle of the night. So you have to ask yourself, he was prepared. Now, what was in the backpack?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that when I had Ashley Banfield, I interviewed her, and she said, that's why it's not an abduction for ransom, because there was a backpack filled with something. And I was thinking, well, how what is that? I literally said, well, why, why, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, it's like maybe there was stuff in there for that,
Well, I thought it might be a tarp or something. Because, he's got his jacket, he's got all that stuff on, so... it's hard to believe he just arrived with a backpack full of random stuff he happened to pick up at the grocery, and forget to unload. He sort of got dressed for the occasion. He had a backpack. The backpack had something in it that he needed to use. Why else would he be carrying the backpack?
Yeah. I just think that, like, when people say, well, it can't be this. See, the backpack isn't one of the things that reverses what I think. The problem is, in this case, there's a lot of those things. Like, you go like this. Okay, was it a robbery that went wrong? Well, why the hell would you remove her body then? You would just leave. You wouldn't do that. Okay, it's an abduction for ransom. Now, if that went wrong, so then, if that's true, and the first two ransom notes that they actually thought were legitimate, why would you send one to TMZ? Well, then you go, well, forget the ransom notes. All it was a ransom that went wrong. They weren't able to do proof of life, and they just said, we got to get the hell out of it.
Well, you don't send a ransom note to the media.
Right, it's stupid. Well, you'd send it to just, if you say anything, we're going to do, you threaten, if you mention it.
You talk to in fact, you usually tell the ransom note says to the family, don't contact the media. That's the first thing they say.
Right. So then you just go, forget the ransom notes. So then it's a case where they went in there to get her to do a ransom, and then she dies, and they just wash their hands with it and just go up and, unfortunately probably buried her body somewhere in a desert, and that's it.
Well, it's like I thought for a minute maybe he didn't know who lived there. He saw it was an older woman living there, and she was alone. She couldn't hear. Obviously, you could watch her and see mobility problems. I thought about that for a while. And then in case he didn't know who she was, and he goes ahead and kidnaps her, and then he realizes it's Nancy Guthrie, Savannah's mother. Oh, he's got a big problem on his hands. Suddenly he's got, a hot property where he knows what happened. If he has a family or accomplice or anything who knows what's going on, there's $1 million reward out there. He's got a big problem on his hands. But if he did it by himself, then nobody knows, and she died and he got rid of her, or her body somewhere. Nobody knows. Then the $1 million is going to go unclaimed.
Yeah, I just think, and it's also like this. People are probably willing to risk not getting caught on a ransom when somebody's alive, because then you can always just go, here you are, and they get 10 to 15 for doing that. Yeah. When you have a person that gets killed, and now it's a felony murder in the commission of a kidnapping for ransom. She dies. Now you can get the death penalty for that.
Yeah.
You're definitely life without parole. So nobody's willing to risk that by communicating.
Yeah, that's it. And that also supports the idea he did not have accomplices. Or if the accomplices, he's afraid of the, the ransom has not been collected. So either he did not have accomplices and nobody knows, or he was ordered to do this, say, by the mafia or something like that. And nobody's going to collect the reward because they're afraid of the mafia, something like that.
Yeah. And I guess there's another theory out there that it was somebody that was sort of infatuated with Savannah and just wanted to hurt her, so killed the mom, which is, that's a possibility. I just think that's least likely out of but although definitely possible. Yeah,
it could be because she reported on a story that he disagreed with. I think, she was really the target. She was really that's because, who would just target Nancy? It's really Savannah or her family.
Yeah, well, that's what I always say on here. I go like this. The reason that these people were here was to abduct Nancy Guthrie because she's the mother of Savannah Guthrie.
Yeah.
That's why they went there, and that's what I say. Now, that doesn't mean that's absolutely what it is, because it could be a random one. It just doesn't seem very likely, because what are the odds that this 84-year-old that was abducted just happens to be the mother of somebody that's worth, $60 million or whatever the hell. That's just.
I'd say it's non-zero, because coincidences happen. Non-zero, but not very likely. So somebody said, "What about body snatchers?" I said, "Don't even think about it. This is an 84-year-old woman. Body snatchers, no. You're thinking too hard. You're thinking too hard."
Yeah, that's just, and the three things that I think are likely, I mean, not likely, three things that are possible, like something that's, on the order of, the most likely one is the ransom for, the abduction for ransom that went wrong. The second one is, believe it or not, is that there's these people that do sexual assault on 84-year-olds. It really does happen, but now with the DNA advancements, they're not willing to leave the body sitting there, so they had to get her out the front of the house. We have many cases like that, so it's a possibility. It's just not very strong. And then the last one is, a stalker type person regarding Savannah, who wants to make Savannah feel shitty by doing something to her mom.
Yeah, it could be Mexican. That's true. We don't know if it's a family member or not. They keep going back and forth on that. Probably buried in the desert, I would say, could be. And I want to say, you may say, why don't they send the cadaver dogs out there? They've tried. They can't find her. There are cadaver dogs that do older graves.
Organ harvesting. Look at Bengal he said. I saw someone see, this is overthinking right there. Look at that. Suggesting organ harvesting.
No.
Organ harvesting. Yeah, they went to get the heart. What a ridiculous. When you're 84 years old, you don't really have a lot of great organs,
And she has a heart condition. She's got a pacemaker. No.
Right.
No, come on, stop thinking. Really, stop it. I had my niece said, I think it's connected to Bill Clinton and his wife and the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Oh, yeah, the Epstein shit. Yeah,
I really don't see that. I really don't see that.
It's ludicrous.
And
the guy at the front door, does he look like that?
If you have, no, but just some political connection, And I said, if you have, evidence, then you have the responsibility to go to the Pima County Sheriff's Office and give it. And if you don't have evidence, then stop talking about it.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys see how why here and I get along? Because we kind of think the same like that, man. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Usually it's like Occam's razor wins the day most of the time.
Yeah, it's really a simple, whatever happened was very simple. And no, there's no DNA. No, he didn't spit on the floor, or he didn't drip saliva when he was, had the thing in his mouth. He didn't, all the DNA on the gloves taking him off, don't even. So, I think Gray could be correct where if it's one guy, he probably went there to check out, see what happened, go away, sit around, see if any police came, and nothing happened. And then either that or it's two people, one person going around the back, getting in there, kind of collecting whatever they wanted, checking on her, getting in the house, calling him. And he was the second guy to come with the car, and the car would only be there a few minutes. They'd pull her out, take her. But I do agree on several points. Somebody went around the back, and they got her out the front door. They did not break in the front. They went through the back.
Yeah. So I can't say that that it's not possible that there was a person, and maybe the guy that we see at the front door, he got the car, and then the other one comes to the door and say, okay, it's ready to go, and they both come and get her. But you would think there'd be some footprints in her blood if there was a second person. Now, if you're walking to her side, as she's dripping blood, you're not going to step on your own blood because you're moving.
That would be either way. She's bleeding, and he's holding her up, walking. So it could be the person, number one, or accomplice.
True, like he could have stayed in the car, and the door opens up, and he's ready to go, and the accomplice gets her to the car.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it could be. So I'm saying that there are common threads here. The question is it the same guy that went around the back and got in and, took her out the front door? She was out the front door. She was either walked out or carried out the front door, and probably walked out the front door. So, so the question is, is it, like you said, somebody parked in the area and just saw it, checked out, went up to the porch, checked it out, went to the, to park the car, just waited a few minutes, nothing happened. And then, it could be that he didn't know that she didn't pay the subscription. So you're right. It could have been he was just testing it. And
he wouldn't know that, right? Like he wouldn't know that she.
Right. He wouldn't know that. So he went and he waited to see if anything happened, and then went back through the back and got her. That's one pretty interesting possibility, because then it explains that time, the amount of time that went by between the initial door camera and then when the pacemaker was disconnected. That explains that. And my own explanation about somebody going around the back, and then letting him in through the front door, that you still have a bunch of time you haven't accounted for yet. Dead time in between the initial approach to the front door and the disconnection to the pacemaker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got. Well, the 212 is when another camera got activated.
Yeah, and that would explain that too.
That would be, to me, there's a camera right in the backyard, right where the door is that apparently was wide open.
Yeah. So that the common thing is somebody got to the back of the house and got her out the front, and there was a vehicle waiting in the front.
Yeah, I was able to build this image right here just by taking parts of all the ones where you can't see the person's over here and over here. So I put it together. So this is what it would look like without, like, just earlier in the evening when nobody was there, right?
Yeah.
So look right here is where that car would park.
Yeah.
So it's just right there on camera, and you wouldn't want anything like that because he took the time to do balaclava, the gloves, all that crap.
No, he's not going to park, and he didn't know whether the camera was running or not.
Yeah, he wouldn't know. So he's got to remove it because they're going to park there for easy access to get rid of it.
There's another thing. Why was he surprised by the camera? I mean, he walked up. He didn't seem like he knew there was a camera, right?
Yeah, it seems like he went up there maybe he knew he might be going to remove it, but then he thought, well, maybe I can just put some plants on it. Maybe that won't scare, It
influences the car, though, because the position of the car. Because, like you said, your theory is he parked somewhere else, and then
first,
and then he's surprised by the camera. He didn't know about the camera.
No, he went to the door to see, and then he sees the camera. He's removing the camera because eventually he's going to park there. Here, let me.
Why did he That's the question: is why did he park there in the first place?
Because, well, you see, there's that one shot of him like this. That's a good question, but this one right here,
yeah, that was.
He doesn't have the backpack, so maybe that's earlier. So he doesn't have the backpack, etc. So that could have been earlier, and he sees, oh shit, there's a camera there, and he just said, I'll deal with it late, when I get there, see what I can do, whatever. Just that wasn't a big deal. Maybe he didn't have tape with him, so he had to come up with something else because he didn't know it was there from other surveillance trips that he took.
Oh yeah, I do think that's right. Whoever, one or two people, they had a surveillance. They went around and they checked at various times, and the blood splatter is aspirated blood.
Or I guess it's expirated is what I actually thought it was the term. Aspirated is like when you breathe in blood and then
so expirated. Then.
Yeah, but yeah, it's right there. But yeah, see, like
yeah,
I had this. There was a person on Megyn Kelly's show, and she's like a blood spatter expert, and she said, "No, that's satellite." She goes, "Yeah, see the blood drops there? That's satellite blood." And I looked it up. Satellite blood is when a drop of blood hits and little tiny particles of blood. That's bull crap. That's bull crap. Look at this. Right here is totally concentrated. It's a cough, and then look how it goes way over there. Do you think a little drop of blood is going to go bing and just go flying all over the? It's ridiculous.
This is Michael Baden's opinion that is blood when somebody expirates.
Yeah, exactly.
It blows out with air in it, and the blood drops have empty centers. Also, that's air. That's air from the expiration.
Oh, cool.
That's air. So
so that's interesting because we were saying that on the first night, like the first time we saw this. That's what I said. Hey, this is expirated, like Jodi Arias, and it still isn't really. Amazingly, people don't bring it up like the news channels. They don't. It's really important, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a person that's alive coming out the door. They seemed like they carried her out like a burrito,
Well, you do say she was alive when she walked out the door.
Yeah.
Somebody points out maybe he had the plants to try and improve his grip to pull the camera off.
Yeah, some people think he was using the vine to pull it off or something. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, it's all right. You can throw that in there.
Yeah, maybe his whole thing was, I'm going to... If we look at it like this, he went there to remove the camera. And so whether or not he goes, well, I don't want to touch it with the gloves, I'm just going to grab this thing and pull it off. Whatever, right? If we want to look at it like, what a dummy. He was trying to... what if he wasn't trying to block the camera? It just looked like that because of the way he was manipulating the vine, right? And then he's not as dumb. He's just somebody that was trying to remove it using something else, right?
Yeah. Well, and that would, and then that begs the question: did he know it was there or not? So, and it's funny. They said the other picture without the backpack has no timestamp. Not sure I believe that. It's got to have a timestamp. All electronic stuff has timestamps. Sneeze expiration can mimic.
Not in this case. Not in this case. That's not what that can't be what that is.
Yeah, it can't be a gun. It can't be a gunshot.
Yeah. The way it's concentrated like that, there actually be the bullet would hit the ground right there.
Yeah.
Because it would have had to go out your front of your face and then like that. Forget it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'd be a lot more blood, and it would be all over the place. That was enough blood. Somebody coughed up blood or sneezed up blood, and there it went down. That was that amount of blood. If you shot somebody, it's all over. And you have more than, just a little circle of blood. You may have even bone fragments.
Yeah, let's see. We've got.
And after she did that, then there's blood that dropped to the car. Yeah, they just pulled up with a car, put her in, and that was it. The only thing I have that bothers me about your theory, Gray, is that if you went around the back and he went in to go get her from the back, and he had to be in the house a lot longer to get her up.
Not really, 14 minutes. Because look at we got 212. The camera in the back of the. Let me show you again.
No, I didn't finish. The risk there is having the car in front of the house unattended for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a lot less than 47 minutes, though, right?
No, but if they had an accomplice, somehow, maybe a combination of our theories is right. If they have an accomplice, then
you could just say, ready to go, and he pulls it up.
Right, and he pulls up, puts her in the car, and they leave.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And that fits with me a little bit better. So it could be the accomplice went over the back wall, and then he kind of got the 15 minutes to get her out, and the guy at the front door was there much earlier. So, but I think maybe it's the same thing. Maybe they did scope out the house, took the camera down, and then the accomplice went through the back while he drove the car up, and they put her in and they left.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if there's another person. There's just no evidence that there is one, because everything that was done could be done by one person, and all we see is one person.
Yeah.
Now, was there another person? It absolutely could be another person. Yeah. And what you just said makes sense. Would you want your car unattended for 14 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe he's got a walkie-talkie and he's sitting in the car and he goes, "Hey, I'm ready to go," and then he pulls up, boom, they're out of there. Yeah. That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And somebody said, "I wonder if they punched her in the nose." You don't punch an 84-year-old lady in the nose because you don't have to. Because she tried to resist. Listen, an 84-year-old woman is trying to resist. You don't punch her in the nose. You pick her up and you carry her across the room, or you just hold her really close.
Yeah. Well, they're probably wondering why she's bleeding a little bit from the nose.
Oh, I see. Well, it could be could have been part of a heart condition. Could have been.
And she's also on blood thinners, so it's probably easier to bleed. And, you'd probably just, even if it was like a barely something on her nose, it might bleed a lot more.
Rising blood pressure, even more likely if one's on blood thinners. That's probably what happened. It was just not incidental, but they didn't punch her. They didn't have to. Something else happened. You don't know, but. Anyway, anything you come up with is only a theory right now, although some theories are better than others.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you get too detailed into like a description. Hey, it's dark. He drops her arm and he stumbles and fell and broke it. Okay, I mean, geez. We don't know. We don't have any idea why she hurt her nose. We can come up with 1,000 reasons. Oh, he threw a golf ball across the room and it bounced up and hit her. Oh, it hit her in the nose. She walked and she stumbled and we don't know why.
Stop all that foolishness. Yeah.
It's just those kind of things we don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. I know I had a friend who was like 95, maybe 94, and she lived out in Riverside, and she was invited to go for Mother's Day to a friend's house because her daughter lives some distance away, and she said, "No, I just feel like staying home." And then that night she saw him in the news that the son had come to Mother's Day and killed everybody. So that happened. Wow. It really happened. Another neighbor of hers that was also maybe 80 or 90 got dropped off. Her family picked her up and they went out to eat or something. Came back, they watched her go in the house and they never saw her again. They found her car abandoned on the way to Las Vegas.
Yeah, we actually, I don't know, about over a month ago, we looked up other similar cases on newspapers.com and found like 5 of them. But there was one really interesting one. It looked very similar, but this lady was like 70 or so, and the guy came into the home and was abducting her. She was trying to abduct her, and her daughter just happened to show up.
Oh,
and this guy turns out to be somebody that was working on a construction site or at her house a year before, but planned it, and he was abducting her for sexual, really crazy shit,
Yeah, but so, that's true. And they had construction down the street. They are.
Yeah. Well, it's right here. It's funny. A guy called in my show the first 4 days and said, "Hey, have you seen that construction right over here? It's right there." I mean, it's literally. Like, here's her house, the driveway, right there. But this is 2 years ago. When they were completed, I don't know, but this is February of 2025.
I know that I was out there talking to people about that.
Like if you go to November, it looks like it's already done of 2024, right? And then there's a February, and there's still construction vehicles, the same red truck that you can see in another February shot right there.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think that this is about as much information. But you know what? It's interesting when you do a case like this. A lot of people talk about it on the internet. A lot of people overthink it. But it is kind of interesting how people come up with a lot of the same conclusions. All the extra garbage stuff like, he punched her in the nose.
Yeah. Well, there's certain people that come up with the same conclusions.
I'm saying that some stuff doesn't matter, and you say, do they punch her in the nose? Whatever. That is blood that has been expurated, but
right.
As time goes on, people do come up with the right explanation. I mean, do come up with logic as well as crazy stuff.
Well, it's usually if you hang out on this channel. I mean, it's amazing if you go that's all they peddle is the crazy stuff. So it's not as common as you think. It's but in this case, all you got to know is this: is when the person is when Nancy's leaving the home, she's bleeding from likely her nose area, and she's still alive. That's it. Like how she got the bloody nose is almost absolutely irrelevant, to be honest with you.
Right.
It's really just saying, hey, she's alive when she's coming out the door. That's a clue to help us know that gives more credibility to the abduction for ransom theory. It removes the burglary gone wrong theory because she's not dead or anything. There's no reason to take her out of there. You would just get the hell out of there. You got your balaclava on. Nobody knows who the hell you are. You leave, right? Yeah. If she's dead, you might make an argument because however they killed her might have led to identifying. But but
I'm saying too that let's see, what was I going to say? That I forgot what I was going to. Oh yeah, the burglary. Usually a burglar gets in your house, they rip the house open. They take stuff out the closets, out the drawers, they dump it everywhere. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
Not what happened.
Yeah. Somebody asked in here, can a face be generated with a DNA sample? Yeah, they use Paraband snapshot. That's not accurate whatsoever. Thank you very much.
Awful. Somebody wrote me. You know what they said? Somebody wrote me, says, why don't they generate that face with DNA and use facial recognition to come up?
Well, if they had that, you'd be doing genealogy, right?
Yeah, I said, hey, first of all, you can't do the face. Forget it. It's sexy. It's flashy. It's worthless. All right. No, it's not entirely worthless, but it doesn't have the abilities they advertise. Let's put it that way. And then,
the part that works seems to be good is the freckles and skin tone is pretty good, right? But other than that, a lot of people look like that. Yeah.
So the thing is, you can't, and then facial recognition is not that sharp anyway. And so what you have is a face generated by DNA that has hair color, eye color, skin tone, freckles. And you're going to do facial recognition on that? You're not, because God, you're going to get a million trillion people. Is AI going to make it easy for? Yeah, we hope so. Genetic genealogy, we hope so. AI.
And this is Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick. She didn't. I don't know if you put your name on there, but that's who this is.
I don't know where it is. I know what my name is.
She owns or founded, whatever you want to call it, the Identifinders International, who identify missing people, criminals, etc. I mean, not missing people, unidentified bodies and criminals and crime cases and everything, really, and using IgG.
I have a lot of unidentified bodies in my closet. I'm going through one at a time.
Yeah. Okay. That was always like right up there. Lynn said, "No screaming." And I go, well, yeah, because just like in the Abby and Libby case, when you have a gun on you, you don't scream.
Yeah.
You do what they tell you to do.
She's woken up. You can also look at sleep patterns or whatever. She went to bed. She got home at 10:30. Probably went to bed at 11.
That's what we were saying. Yeah.
3 hours into your sleep. Where are you at with that? Are you really deeply asleep? And somebody wakes you up. You don't know.
Yeah, and also, if somebody has a gun on you and they say, do not scream or make any sound or I'll shoot you, you're not going to scream or yell.
She's deaf.
Yeah, she doesn't hear very good, right? She's got those high-powered
So if he says don't scream, she can't hear him.
Well, she might be able to slightly hear him. Well, even just having the gun, right? You're not gonna just start screaming because you think they'll shoot you.
Yeah, could
People
be.
just get it. It's like the universal "shut the hell up" sign when somebody has a gun on you.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
And to be honest with you, in that area, even if she did scream, the way the trees are and the way things are set up, it probably muffled quite a bit from anybody.
Right, right. So, yeah, I don't know if I don't think it'll be solved in the near term, but it might be. It might be, and I know they're still working on it. Now they're going through the heavy lifting, with everybody else in the neighborhood. What did everybody else see? They trying to work on the motive, but it seems like it's a vacuum. Except maybe talking to Savannah, is there anybody that you remember that had threatened you or that tried to reach out to you in the wrong way? Is there anything you can remember that happened? They're trying to go over a lot of the hard stuff now. The easy, quote unquote, clean the crime scene, pick up DNA, the gloves. They're trying to do all that. They've done all that. Now they're doing other things.
Yeah, it seem like though, like somehow a DNA profile was left somehow at that house.
It was, but it's not buried under Nancy Guthrie's DNA.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
You use a door to go into her bedroom. She touched that knob 50 times a day, or 50 times more.
But he did have gloves on, but he had to touch the glove to put it on. There's got to be some sort of, I don't know. It just seems like there's got to be something.
I know, but there's so little underneath Nancy's own DNA. She may have had the other workers in the house. She may have had friends over. Their DNA's everywhere.
Oh, I just thought of something for the to bolster that it's just the one person again. See, when he was at the front door, he had the backpack, the gloves, the gun, and everything. So why would he be the one driving the car? Wouldn't he more likely be the one that went in the house because he had the backpack and all that?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I bet you. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, he still could have had somebody come with the car.
Right. There could have been but he might be the one that did the sole entry.
Yeah.
Had to remove, and there was another guy driving the car.
Yeah, other guy parked around the corner. Waiting, and to me that's more interesting because if he had somebody else waiting in the car, then he could go in through that back door, like you said, come to the front, say, "Hey, I'm ready." They could pick her up and leave. I don't feel comfortable having a car parked in front of the house for 15 minutes like that.
Right. And I definitely wouldn't want to, like in this scenario, wouldn't want to ever park right back here because if a cop car shows up, you're trapped. You cannot get out of there. If you're right there, at least you could try to get out this way or this way. Like there's a way to get moving. But I don't think you'd want to be parked deep into the driveway at any given point in time.
Yeah. So what you think he was parked somewhere else or on the street?
Well, I can show you this. I made an actual. It's pretty cool. Watch.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see.
So I took this 3D. I actually have this site that I can download the 3D material from Google Earth, and so it's like this, right? So here I'm going to play it. So let's say you park right over here. Just it's on the side street. This is her street coming up right here. And this is him, probably walk through the wood, whatever. I don't really care how he walked there. It's just a representation. So he comes down. This is right around like 140 something, 144 or 5.
And
then he goes, and he's walking. Then he goes inside there, and then he removes the camera. So that's what he's doing right now. He removes the camera. Then he exits because he doesn't know if somebody got alerted to it. So he's going to wait and see. So he goes back to where the car was parked. And it might probably takes 4 minutes to walk to the car. I don't know where he parked the car. I'm just throwing out a random place here, but it was an interesting place, to be honest with you. You can't see back, behind, or forward. So let's say he stays there for about 20 minutes, right? Then after that, 20 minutes is up. He then pulls out of there. Sorry for the jerky animation there and the no spinning wheels. But he drives around. And then he pulls into the driveway, just like this, comes around, and then parks the vehicle. Then after this is probably like 2:06 or so. Then he gets out of the vehicle. It's still playing. It's just kind of killing time.
It's hard to.
Yeah. Then he gets out of the vehicle, and there he is, a little sphere, going around the back of the house. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he'll jump over this fence over here, which is just coming up. And then right when he jumps over the fence, the camera takes a shot of him at 2:12. Then he breaks the light. Then he goes inside of the house. And then, he's in the house.
Broken light. I didn't know about the broken light.
Oh, yeah, there's a floodlight at the door that was broken.
That night?
Well, they don't know when exactly. I mean, I'm just assuming it was that night. Could have been another night, like he's preparing.
Okay, but it didn't.
Right, and so he's in there and he's abducting Nancy, and then he takes Nancy out to the waiting car that he left there, which was there for, 12, 14 minutes. And then drives away. Okay, so I think it's something like that. But however,
I agree. It's something like that. The only concern I have is having that car there for 15 minutes.
I think it's a good point.
Yeah, I think that whoever did this, the guy went to the porch. He took out the camera. He went away. You're right. I never thought about that. He went away. Somehow he was doing something else. He went through the back door. He came out the front door. He radioed. Maybe that's a walkie-talkie. He radioed the accomplice. I have her. I'm on the way out. And the accomplice came with the car and picked him up and left.
Yeah. But like in this case, if it's this guy and he removed it at 1:47, what did he do for 20 minutes? Just kind of hide somewhere? Maybe he went back to where the guy in the car was just to hang out for 20 minutes. Right, because they were both going to have to take off together anyways if a cop was showing up, right?
Yeah, right. So he went back to the car, and maybe they had a scanner, I don't know. But they sat there just to see if anything happened. This is probably just... the first part is like a little prep, to take the camera out or to check things out. Then you have a second part when they are waiting to see if anything happened. And the third part when somebody went through the back, got her, and brought her to the front, and they left. This was done very quickly. They didn't hang around in the house, you're right, for 40 minutes. That would be crazy. They in the house, that was the object of why they were there, to take her.
See why me and her think the same. That's what I've always said. And people get like, oh, great. It's like, I just say they went there to abduct Nancy Guthrie because likely she's the mother of Savannah Guthrie. And then I think it's abduction for ransom that went wrong. And then, that's an extra theory part, right? But the part that we know is for certain is... not for certain, but like 99.999% is that they went there to abduct Nancy Guthrie. Right. That's why they took the camera off so they could put the car there to come out the front door with her, Yeah.
So you think he knew the camera was there?
I think he knew it was there at that moment. Can you
on that video, I want to see if I look at it and I believe I just want to see if from the beginning. Okay.
Yeah. That's the very first shot right there. And by the way, just to let you know, see how it skipped right there? Yeah. That's literally a second later. Look at his right foot. Watch. See where it's planted right there?
Yeah.
Now look at the next shot. Is that one? It didn't move. Yeah. His foot. So it's the same moment in time, just a half second of missed footage.
And they have nothing before that to see where he came from?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay. He puts his hand up like that to block the camera.
He's trying to remove the camera right there because the doorknob's over here.
He's trying to move it. I see. He's just not blocking it. He's trying to remove it. He's got his hand on the top. He's trying to pull it off the holder.
So it could be that he was trying to pull it off, and then maybe he is trying to go, well, it's not really coming off as easy as I like. Maybe I'll just block it with something. I mean, it could be that simple.
And he's saying, I don't want to take my gloves off.
So maybe he is like looping it up there, and he's trying to... Yeah,
maybe he's using that to try and pull it, or weasel it off with a stick.
Right.
Okay.
And then there was this one, that was from a different time.
Yeah, I don't know why they should have more than this.
These are thumbnails. These things. See this one here? That's a thumbnail.
Yeah, they're not releasing some of the stuff they have. So he could have he could have already known about the camera. Okay, just let me see it. Run it. Just run it.
Okay, I'll do this part again.
Yeah. So, yeah, run the little video.
Yeah, it's going to play. It's just right after this. That's like, I think that didn't play the beginning part.
Yeah, I don't think he's blocking. I think he's trying to get rid of it.
So that's what I think too. I think he's just there.
That is the reason he went to the porch to get rid of it.
Yep, he went to the porch to get rid of it, knowing they're going to park there. And then here's something that's interesting, and too.
He knew there was a camera.
Right. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then, like when you look at this video, let me find the one that's far. Yeah, look, there's blood on this tile right there. So if you look at it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on the 5th tile, and there's even some I've seen even on I think the next one, but there's 5th tile in. So if you look at this video right here, this one. Okay, so let me just see what count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So the 5th tile section is right there. So look at the Nancy made it all the way to like right there. See this? She was right here when she was removed. Had there been a camera there, you'd see somebody with her this far out. You know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sort of interesting to see that. I mean, she actually was able to, you know, she was alive and then dripped some blood, not a lot, all the way to this area. And then they found some more down the path. Fox News did.
Yeah. Well, that's clear what happened. Now, you know, that's this, if you really think and like you analyze, no, I think what we are talking about is probably what happened, or it's close to what happened. There's always going to be some open, like we don't know if there's one person, two persons. There's evidence that there could have been two. There could have been two.
Well, I think this was really actually kind of a productive, more logical conversation that we just had, that kind of really got to, you know, stuff that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I do think it was targeted, or I do think it was a intentional abduction because of, you know, what we said, you know, taking the camera out the car, making sure nobody saw the car. You don't do that if you're a burglar, you know. And also, you know, the fact, like I said, if he came around the back, came in, took her, and left, that's it. That's very simple. You know, it's not you come in, pull drawers, and you take stuff out of closets, you look in shoe boxes, you look for stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple. You come in, you take the woman, and you leave. And I think that's what happened. You know, that other camera at 2:12 or whatever, you know, 15 minutes. That's all you need, because you have to get her up. It's going to take you a moment or two to get her up. She's walking. She's awake. So that takes a couple of minutes. You know, she can't move. She can't hear. So it takes a couple of minutes, let's say 5 minutes, to get her out of bed. You know, if you, you know, if I'm there, or a younger person, that goes a lot faster. Oh, you jump up, you drag them. But here's a woman, and maybe they didn't mean to hurt her, but they're trying to get her out of bed. They're not trying to hit her on the head and kill her. They're trying to get her out of bed. They're abducting her.
Yeah.
Every day, loosely.
And I guess we don't know the precise time that even though they set the camera off at 2:12, like what time they actually, or, you know, the person made it into the house.
Yeah. So
you know, because they had to break in, you know.
Right. You have a few minutes, a minute or two, or to take care of that. Then you have a minute or two to get to her bedroom. So
that
consumes a few
2:16, you know, you're at 2:16 now, and 2:28, you're out she's already far enough away where she's not communicating, or, you know, so her pacemaker is not communicating.
I did a research how far that can be, and I never really came up with an answer. You know, I would say 10 feet is probably.
I got like 10 to, I was doing, I think I did it on ChatGPT or something. It was like
10 feet or so.
10 to 30. So it's kind of varying. I mean, it's Bluetooth.
Oh, remember, she walks slow, and they're not trying to kill her. They're just trying to get out the house. So it's not like you going to the front door and knocking. You're actually walking with somebody who cannot walk. So that's, you know, that takes a few minutes. So you can really add that up if you wanted to. you get her out, you get to her room, you get her out of and maybe you get in the house, you look around a little bit, to make sure nobody else is there. You get to the room, you get her up, and you get her out to the front door. That's not going to take 2 minutes. That's going to take, 10. Let's say at most 10. But then you have, the coming in the back, and then she's actually a distance away before it disconnects.
Yeah.
So you know what? How far is her door to her bedroom or her bed? How far is the bed from the front door? It's probably like 15 feet, something like that. That could be when.
Yeah, I would think I could actually figure it out. I mean, I think
that could be when it disconnected.
I think for sure. Because her bed is right back here. Because I've seen the picture. Yeah. And that window's on the left, so her bed's here. So if I was going to measure, let's just go like this, and then here's the front door. That whole distance there is already 51 feet. So they could have had her like right there, even way back here, and she's already disconnected.
Okay, well I don't.
Oh wait, you can't see it. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's fine.
No, right here. See, let me do it again. All right, so sorry about that. Her window's right over here, and her bed is like right over in this area. So if I went like this, that distance right there is already 24 feet, and the front door is over here. So that actually the 228 could be before she's even left the house.
Yeah, that's probably right. And you think she went through the back window or through her bedroom window?
I think. Well, what they're saying is that she went through this door back here, right there. See this door right here? And there's there's a floodlight that was broken right there, and this door apparently was wide open. So that's quite a ways then, right? Because then you're way over here, and then you're sort of making your way through. Maybe you don't even know what room she's in, right? I mean, you don't know.
Right. So they don't know, they may not have known the layout of the house. I agree.
Hey, do you want to see this? There's a statement, I guess, to go through. It's a new statement.
Oh, that's, what's his name, Brian?
Brian Enton, yeah. So let's listen to it.
Now, what is he saying?
Oh, wait, you can't hear it? Oh, hold on. Let me turn this on again. Let's start over again, you guys. You can't hear it unless I have this thing turned off, but my audio sucks after that.
Hey guys, so Nancy Guthrie's family released a new statement to KVOA, which is the local TV station in Tucson, where Savannah used to work. It says, "We are deeply grateful for the outpouring from neighbors, friends, and the people of Tucson. We are all family now. We continue to believe it is Tucsonans and the greater Southern Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. Someone knows something. It's possible a member of this community has information that they do not even realize is significant. We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as the late evening of January 11th. We desperately ask this community for renewed attention to our mom's case. Please consult camera footage, journal notes, text messages, observations, or conversations that in retrospect may hold significance. No detail is too small. It may be the key. We miss our mom with every breath, and we cannot be in peace until she's home. We cannot grieve. We can only ache and wonder. Our focus is solely on finding her and bringing her home. We want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life, but we cannot do that until she is brought to a final place of rest. Thank you for continuing to pray without ceasing." And it says the Guthrie family, Cameron and Christine, Annie and Tommaso, Savannah and Michael. It's just awful to read that we cannot do that until she's brought to a final place of rest, which is kind of indicating that, they don't believe that Nancy's with us anymore. It's also interesting they're asking for information again around the date of January 11th, which has come up again and again as a significant date.
Right. Yeah. So the January 11th date is a weird date. That could actually be the date, by the way, of the guy, the image without the backpack on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
I'm saying I'm going to guess, but we don't know.
And, and the thing is, I've said the same thing on the second video that Savannah Guthrie put out. She was literally saying, "We understand now that our mother isn't alive." And then it said, "But we want to know, we want to have her back so that we can celebrate her life together, and we just want peace, and we're willing to pay for it. So really what they're saying is we're willing to pay for you to tell us where her body is so that we can have peace. And you've covered, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
When you don't have an answer and is a missing person, presumed dead, they live a life of complete misery in limbo for the rest of their life, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you have the body, though, you get to have peace, because at least you bury them. It'll always be a bad thing, but at least you'll, be able to bury them and celebrate their life, I guess. But
well, it's not closure; it's release.
Right? Yeah. There's
Because
no such thing.
if you don't know, you're always thinking. You're spending time and energy thinking and worrying, and then once you know,
It's horrible.
let it go.
I think it's actually, it's as strange as it seems, it's so much better to find out that somebody's not alive and have their body than to spend 20 years wondering.
Yeah, much
I mean,
better.
it's just, so what they're saying is, can you just tell us where she is so that we can have peace?
Yeah, yeah,
And so that sounds like kind of what she's saying even in this one.
yeah, yeah. Well,
But, wow.
yeah.
So what are you talking about when you go on these radio shows? The same thing each time?
Yeah,
or-
they can ask me the same thing. What do I think about the DNA? I say it's a mixture. Nancy Guthrie's all over the house. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to separate mixtures. One time I screwed up and talked about the gloves, and that was not appropriate, and the gun and the gloves, because I had just been talking to somebody about that. Anyway, and I even sent them a list of questions, and they didn't bat an eye about the gloves. So anyway, that was stupid. But the other 9 times, tomorrow I'll be on Fox at Phoenix at Fox 10 and at I think it's 1:00 here. Now I don't know if it'll be pre-recorded or I hope it's not live, but
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll try to watch it. But
Yeah.
you've been on there for, what is it now?
I'm gonna
2
have-
hours and 37 minutes.
I
You're still
know.
going to do your walk? You're going to do your walk still?
Yeah, it's safe. I just want to.
Okay.
But
Are you
listen,
sure?
freaks,
Right.
I listen, freaks. It was great to see you guys again. I'll get on more often. We just had a hiatus for a while, so I missed you guys, and we'll talk soon. Hopefully, we'll find Nancy. We're all praying and hoping for her, and some of these cases are moving through the system finally. So we appreciate your donations. And that's it. I'm gonna tell y'all good night, and hope y'all do well. And Gray, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Okay, bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. Good convo. Yeah, that was a great conversation. See, isn't that amazing? Because that conversation there makes it very reasonable to believe that there's just this driver person, right? That was really good. Like another person driving. But I like that I was able to come back and say, hey, why would the guy that's the driver have the backpack and all this other stuff? But then it sort of narrowed it down to more that, like, this guy is the one who literally is going into the house, but then maybe there is a walkie-talkie getting a hold of a person just to pull up into the spot to then get her into the car and leave. Kind of makes sense. I think that, but my main thought is there's just one person. I'm just saying it's not unreasonable to think that there might be somebody like that. I just don't think there's 3 or 4, and they're not doing the burrito carry thing, etc. Hey, are you out there? Hey, Bengal Cat Chili, why don't you try calling? I'm going to have this phone number. Try to call it, all right? Let's see. Like, what if I send you the number? If I send you an email, can you just try calling it? I want to see if it works. Let's see. Because I'm going to try to use this iPad thing and see if this works. All right, hold on. Well, what happens to you though? No, but that's actually long distance for you though, right? You shouldn't have to do that. I just want to see if it can work. I don't know. Do you have a way to do long distance? Maybe I'll put a video out of just that whole conversation we just had. I think that was a good one. Was it worth? Do you think it's worth doing it? Did it come across pretty good? I think it would be good. All right, I just sent it to you. Okay, I just sent it. Yeah, they got rid of Skype. Oh, you don't have any credit. Okay, so why don't I... is there anybody out there that can just... Hey, Cecil, how about you? I'll just put the number in the chat. Why don't you try calling it, okay? Let's see if it works. I'm just going to see. I don't know. Yeah, it's gotta work somehow. Like if I had a mic over here. All right, here we go. All right, try that one. Try this one that I just put in there. All right. And we'll see if it works. Yeah, I just want to do it the way I want to do it, Bengal. Yeah, it's not easy for that. This is better. All right, let's just see. They don't have phone numbers. They just... I want to do it where people can dial a number. All right. Hello?
Call from
Cecil.
Okay. Hold on.
To accept, press 1.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Gray?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so it works then.
Wow, that's crazy.
Can you
Look,
hear me?
wait, I want to see. Can you guys hear him talking in the background? Say something.
What's up, freaks?
Wow, I think it works really good. That's freaking crazy. Wow, that's it's like a really good sound. Here, keep talking. Say some stuff.
Well, I love having Colleen Fitzpatrick on the show. I just think there's one person, man, because it just feels like, the way that it looks on the cameras is it just looks like he's working alone to me, but I could be wrong. But because he goes up to the camera, removes the camera, then obviously they're gonna park a vehicle there. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't know. I think it's one person. It could be two though. It could be like a driver, but then that's a lot of risk for that person because he's gonna get charged the same, even if he's just driving.
So can you hear me very good when I'm talking?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yeah, because I think I'm speaking into my iPad that's like 3 feet away, but it's all connected to my soundboard, and you sound perfect in here. Like everybody's like, "Whoa!" Because this is like way better than when you come in on StreamYard. I think this is way better sound than that. I think. But anyways. Yeah.
But, I mean, do you think it's just one person or cuz
I think it's more likely one person, but I definitely, I can see how there could be two, but I don't think there's a second person going inside the home or anything. It's just like they could be a driver.
No, it would have been just like a driver person.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
well, I mean, he would still get charged the same, even if they caught both of the people. Let's say there was two, he would get charged pretty much the same as that other guy too, though. So.
Right, he's the one that you cut the deal with,
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Where you say, hey, you're felony murder, buddy, but if you roll over on the other guy, we'll cut that down to 15.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I don't know. I like having her on the show though. So I'm glad it was a good show with a lot of support because sometimes it's not. So. Yeah,
you guys kicked ass, by the way. Thank you very much for all your incredible support during that show. I think the entire amount at the end of the month is going to go to them. We've already done 1,500 to other places, but we got to keep building up our funds over there at Identifinders International, right? Yeah, well, very cool. I appreciate you testing that out. It worked great.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely should use it. I feel like it's better than the StreamYard. So.
Well, I use StreamYards, but the phone calls, it's better than having to click the link. Now it's just a regular thing where people can call in. And
okay, I see what you're saying.
so, like, you just dialed a phone number, and I'm still using StreamYards, but now the iPad is the phone, and it just goes right into one of the, those mixer boards, the XLR jacks. Yeah. So I have this adapter that goes from the iPad into an XLR, and it has like total control over your audio. I can just cut your mic like boom, like right now you can't talk, but now I turn it back up and you could. So, anyways.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be good for future calls. So
yeah, cool, it's going to be good. All right. Well, thanks for testing it out, and thank you for all your support
no
too,
problem.
etc. All right, have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
That's pretty cool, huh? Wow, that sound is way better than the sound on StreamYard, though. I can tell you that. That's like literally you just call in like it's a phone. You can't do it though, right? I guess it doesn't work. Pretty cool. All right. And yeah, by the way, thanks again for all you guys' amazing support there. We didn't really have a ton of people watching, but at least you guys that was amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I guess it makes it tough though that maybe I could have both. Because there might be people like Raven who they're out of the country and they can't do it, so I could literally have both on the screen and they both work. I wonder what it would be like. Yeah, so I think even if I had the audio on, it should work. He wouldn't be able. When you call in there, you wouldn't be able to hear any audio that I played. That's the problem. You'd have to be watching the video, and then that causes problems. Yeah. Yeah, Marty, how about you call in, Marty? Where is Marty? Yeah, I wonder if there's like a hold or something. Yeah. Well, anybody else want to try it? Let me put the number in here. You guys can try it. Right there. Try that. Yeah, except you can't do it, right? Because it's long distance for you, I think. Oh, that was your... Oops. Shit. I think I was looking at the... Sorry about that. Here, let me get the other one. I got rid of that one. Let me do the other one. I was looking at the wrong screen. I don't have mine memorized yet. There it is. All right, there you go. Okay, right there. I think she called in once a long time ago. She sang me Happy Birthday one years ago. What do you mean it's so long? It's just a regular phone number. What do you mean? I don't know. We'll try it another time. Oh boy. So what's the news? Anything interesting out there? It's already been on there for almost 3 hours. I played golf, sucked. I think I shot 84. You know, I don't know. I couldn't make any putts. I don't think I did anything well today. I hit one really good 8-iron, and that was it. Other than that, it was just bogeys and, you know, a few pars and just sucked. I don't know. It's not really that. What's interesting about it? It's just same stuff we've been talking about. What do you mean? What did we make of it? It's just the same stuff. You know, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like there was anything profound in it. We can listen to it again. Yeah, that just right. They think it's people, you know, in the area. We've already talked about it. That everybody, likely somebody lives in the area. It's nothing new, or I mean, it seems like we've heard all of this before. It didn't verify anything about January 11th. We already had it verified. We already knew that was a date. They came out specifically and said, we want people that have cameras on January, you know, if you've seen something on January 11th, let us know. They've already came forward with that, so that's what verifies it. If Savannah Guthrie says that, it doesn't verify anything. It's when law enforcement comes out and does that. '31st. Right. Renewed attention to your mom's case. That's all everybody talks about. Let me see. Renewed attention. That's all anybody's talking about. It's not like it's faded away. Oh, you can't hear. Okay. Jeez. All right. Man, you guys are so late telling me that every time. It's just crazy. I've been listening to it by myself for 10 minutes. Or, 10 minutes, but here we go.
Hey guys, so Nancy Guthrie's family released a new statement to KVOA, which is the local TV station in Tucson, where Savannah used to work. It says, we are deeply grateful for the outpouring from neighbors, friends, and the people of Tucson. We are all family now. We continue to believe it is Tucsonans and the greater Southern Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. Someone knows something. It's possible a member of this community has information that they do not even realize is significant. We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as the late evening of January 11th. We desperately ask this community.
Oh, I see. You guys sometimes are like 30 seconds behind, so I guess,
For renewed attention to our mom's case, please consult camera footage, journal notes, text messages, observations, or conversations that in retrospect may hold significance. No detail is too small. It may be the key. We miss our mom with every breath, and we cannot be in peace until she is home. We cannot grieve. We can only ache and wonder. Our focus is solely on finding.
Right. We can't grieve. See, that's exactly what I was saying. See, once you have her body, you can grieve, say goodbye, and, move forward in peace, right? But this is like the exact opposite.
She's home. We cannot grieve. We can only ache and wonder.
We can only ache and wonder. That's the not having peace thing that I've talked about. I literally have said the same sentence, that you do not have peace. You're always constantly wondering, and you're in limbo. That's it.
Our focus is solely on finding her and bringing her home. We want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life, but we cannot do that until she is brought to a final place of rest. Thank you for continuing to pray without ceasing. And it says,
like, I don't know what's new in there. I mean, yes, it's a new statement by her, but there's nothing in there that's new. Don't you agree with that? Like, there's really nothing in there that's new or like, oh my God, ooh. You know, we already knew, like, for example, the February or January 11th date, you know. Yeah, she mentioned it again. That might be, there must be something. Here's what I would love to know is, what is it? They didn't mention the 24th, though, if you notice that, right? But I'd love to know what it is on the 11th that they are interested in. Is that the date of that image of him walking around there? All right. Well, anyways, I know this phone works, so we'll go ahead and at some point, when we have a busy night and people want to call in, we can everybody can call Timothy Cecil. All right, I just removed your call from that. No, that sounds ridiculous. The case is being handled by a juror? A junior detective. Oh, I thought you said juror. I was like, nah, I didn't see that. I don't know. Yeah, why don't you guys all go watch that one real quick? I'll wait for you to come back. Anyways, I'm gonna get going. Maybe I'll play that one tomorrow or something like that. But let's see. We've got. You know, it's weird. We didn't have very many people support the channel tonight, but the people who did support the channel were very generous. And thanks, Brown Eyed Girl, for being here. I wanted to play your song, but where is that?
You, my brown-eyed girl.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool show, and thank you guys very much for making it so I didn't have to ask 1,700 times. That was really cool, and you were way generous and probably made up for those 2 nights that we had that were shitty in the early part of the month. So thank you to Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman. Then we had Brown Eyed Girl, Gift 5, and there was Wild Bill Wassman, and there was Alley Cake. Then Alley Cake again, and then Brown Eyed Girl gifted another one. Then we had Michelle H gift 1, then Alley Cake gift 1, then Sherry C. I think this is a challenge of some sort in this here. And then Wild Bill Wassman, and then we had, oh yeah, that was Coco Love's challenge, and then she gifted 5. Then we had Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1, then Brown Eyed Girl did another 5. Then Alley Cake, and then Brown Eyed Girl, man, thank you so much. Did another, and said, thank you, Dr. Colleen, for your dedication to solving all these cases. And then Wild Bill Wassman again. Then Alley Cake, Jim Lawn, what the hell is a gigawatt? After you had already said, what the hell is genealogy? And then we have Linda Howell. That was classic. Man, I got to record Dr. Colleen. I actually had to interrupt her so that she wasn't going to go too far off on Jim. So I like intentionally got her off of that a little bit. What the hell is genealogy? Wow. That's what she does, man. And then Linda Howell there, and then Maureen Coe gifted 5. There's Linda Howell, Jim Lawn, then Sassy Squatch, and then Cheryl Bullock. And then look at that. Carl with a C gifted 50 channel memberships. That's insane. That's amazing. Thank you. And then we have Chris O'Connell gifted 10. And then look at that. Carl with a C gifted 10 more. So that's 50, 60, 70 memberships right there. Then Jim Lawn. Then we had Wild Bill Wassman. Alley Cake gifted 1. Chris O'Connell gifted 1. Then I gifted 5. This is that. Yeah, so then Carl with a C said if we give 10, he'll do 20. So I did 5, and then 5 of you did 1. And then Carl with the C jumped in and gave 20 more. So that was 50, 60, 70, 90 channel memberships. Yeah, it's weird too. I mean, we still just barely would have made the just minimum goal without that. And that was it. Carl with a C was at 7:32, and now it's 9 o'clock, and there hasn't been one other super chat or anything during that time. Let's see. Ah, geez, Lisa. See, Lisa, when you make comments like that, you point out for somebody to go look for something. God, I hate when you guys do that. It's just, man, you make a deal out of something, and now it's likely going to be a problem because you said that. They're going to go look and go, oh, yeah, there it is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, just leave it alone. Oh, yeah, and then we had, well, I wasn't really done yet because we also had Buy Me a Coffees from Marty's Bar and Grill and Lisa Valenzuela. And then we also had Paulette Leonard and Sandy on PayPal. Thank you. Yeah, I've commented. Yes, I mean there's reports out there that JLR, somebody filed, his girlfriend filed a complaint against him for abuse. I mean, not sexual abuse, but like physical abuse and whatnot. And it's if it's true, it's a severe thing. She just had another incident though before, where she falsely accused somebody, but apparently that was part of some operation of some sort. I don't know. So I'm just sort of at a point where it's like, okay, if it ever comes out where it's proven or something, then it'll be a big deal. But at this point, his wacko followers, they don't care about anything that this guy's ever done. He's the same person, you see him when somebody dare to show up in his territory, he always attacks them, It's crazy. Anyways, January 11th, Brian did an interview with neighbors saying she saw someone suspicious out her bathroom window. Is that the date of that one? Yeah. And I wish I knew which neighbor that was, though. Yeah. I know it's deleted, but just don't say it, because they might look back. These idiots record the whole shows, and they try to look for things, So you're just... I don't know what that means, Paulette. And a scheduled PayPal for me yesterday. What does that mean? A scheduled PayPal. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I see one for today, and then one from Sandy. What do you want me to do with that story, though? Because I don't believe in the Me Too shit. The Me Too movement. I've seen way too many cases out there where men are falsely accused of something. And I'm not saying that's what happening here, but I'm not willing to pretend that it's a truth without actually knowing, having a day in court where somebody says, oh, here's what the truth is. right? You remember the Duke lacrosse players? They were all just, their lives were ruined because somebody claimed that they did something to her and it wasn't even true at all. You know? And there's many other examples. So I don't know. I think it's one of those, here's what I don't like when they say, you have to believe the person the woman when she says it. And it's like, well, how come? How come when the guy says I didn't do it, we can't believe them? So why not wait until it should all be just quiet. It goes to court and they figure out the answer. Then it becomes public. I don't really understand why cases like that are public first. Don't you guys agree with that? It's just weird. And the guy is always, and a lot of times, when there's a complaint made, the woman's name gets to be hidden, and the guy that's been accused of something, his name gets blasted everywhere. Does that seem logical or fair at all? Come on, you guys, just be honest about it. Yeah. Yeah, and these people, their followers are crazy lunatics. Okay, so I don't want to have anything to do with that. They can just do their own whatever they do. You know, I don't know. Looks like you guys have all fallen asleep again. You know, you guys. Whenever I ask questions and nobody replies, I just feel like, you know, that's when it's time to get out of Dodge. Let's see. Now, if it's like a friend of mine telling me the story, I'm going to believe them. I'm just talking about when you see these things in the media, do we need to always believe the accuser every single time? I just think it's dumb. He is unhinged. He's a crazy person. But why don't we let the courts figure out? If you look at these people, they just think because they're entertained, forget all the crap that somebody did. I don't know what this means. Yeah, can you translate that or? I don't know what that means. Are you guys still here or just the neighbor that let Brian park in? I don't know what neighbor that is, Lynn. You didn't tell me which one it was. That doesn't help at all. Oh, the neighbor that let Brian park in his driveway. Oh, yeah. Oh, that tells me the story. Thanks. Yeah, but people watch those other ones. Even people that watch here. It's just odd. You know? Just for the hope of getting something right when it happens new and maybe... Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Yeah. If you like that, then yikes. See, the neighbor that let Brian park in her driveway. Hey. Good night, Sandy Shirley. Hope you feel better. I'm not sure what's happening there, but... Yeah, the neighbor that let Brian park in her driveway. Does it show him parking in the driveway? Maybe send me the video, Lynn. I'll check it out later. If you got the video where it shows him parking in the driveway, I can probably figure it out. I did figure out the house that there was a surveillance camera that apparently went out, and it had the dog barking. It's right over. It's this house right here, and this is, Annie's house or Nancy's house is right here, and this is where the dog was in the camera. Mm-hmm. The cop and holding a phone. I don't know what that means. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it, you guys. Whenever we get down to this low of conversation back and forth, it's time to go. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just some, like, they're waiting out there for just something different. Remember how they attacked the one psychic girl that was out there? How they attacked the one girl who went to just walk right up and took a picture inside the doorway and walked away. And he's like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" Well, who the hell are you? I mean, you've been over here, basically, parked in the middle of the street for 40-something days, just creating just a completely uncomfortable environment for people. I don't know. Now there's no updates. We just went over the one update is a statement from Savannah Guthrie that has no new information in it. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, hey, aren't you glad though? Doesn't that just sound really good though? That audio, I couldn't believe it. I kind of worked on it for a while and I got it set up where it was just like, I was like, okay. This looks pretty cool. I got an adapter that it actually puts power into my iPad. And then it also has another adapter that is like a 1/8 inch that goes straight into an XLR input. And it like just worked like a charm. I had to make sure that the audio, when I plug it in, it realizes, okay, yeah, we're using this for audio. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, because my audio is clear because I don't have to use the... I guess I should have tried to do it with even my background audio. It should sound the same. It's only when I'm using StreamYard and I have to put it on echo cancellation. Looking out her bathroom, the guy was... What are you talking about, Betty? Nobody knows what you're saying. Looking out her bathroom, the guy was walking towards Nancy. What? Yeah, so that's cool. All right, we got that working. Right, no more echoing. Unless we have to take calls on StreamYard. Like, let's say, I could have it be an option. Right? And there's no echo problem as long as I don't have if I don't have echo cancellation on and I turn off system audio, then everything sounds normal. But I think most people would rather just dial a number. Then it makes it kind of complicated when you have to click on an app and then push buttons and try to figure out what the settings and everything. This is just a phone call, exactly like one thing about doing StreamYard though is you're live with me and you can see my screen. The other one would be if you're about 30 seconds behind, so it makes it really hard when somebody calls in and you're moving around on the screen. They go, "No, go to your left," and then I was already left, and then 30 seconds later I'm somewhere else, and they go, "No, it was right over there." It just turns into a nightmare, So I guess it just kind of depends. Like if you just want to call to talk about something, then call. If you want to call in and you need me to have the screen, then you're going to have to use StreamYard link. Maybe. I don't know. I thought of going there. I'd probably just go there. I don't know. I just don't want to be there when those people are there. It's so uncomfortable. It's just slime ball fest. I'm not really sure. Is it like, I mean, you see some of these pictures. Look at this. Is it this one? Yeah, I mean, look at this just shit show over here. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All these cars just parked, blocking streets. As far as the eye can see, goes up here. You know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'll check it out later. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think they're gone. I mean, I'd probably go there for a few hours, walk around, look at stuff. Maybe a couple days, spend some time there. Look around, try to figure out, you know, just maybe I'm interested in this neighbor here, because I remember they were removing these cameras. Maybe asking them a question or two. That looks like a really cool house, doesn't it? Look at that. Steps going down, rocks. Really big. That's like probably 4,500 square feet. Anyways, thanks everybody. Hey, Carl, I just want to say thank you so much. That was very generous and kind of you. Really appreciate it. You know, and there's many of you guys that have been helping out all the time, and it's just, you know, I need to keep the channel running, and I still want to be able to give away thousands as well on behalf of all the freaks during the month, etc. So thank you for all of you out there that are always helping and, you know, just keeping things moving along. I really appreciate it. All right. So thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Who the hell knows what tomorrow will bring? And thanks, Lynn, for sending me that. Thanks, Raven, for sending me that link. We'll check it out. Maybe tomorrow we can go over some of these interviews and whatnot that people have had. We'll see how it goes. Well, hey, I appreciate it anyways, Carl. I mean, it's just, you know, you made a huge difference tonight. That's why we did as great as we did, because of you. All right, so thank you. Appreciate it. And well, I mean, Brown-Eyed Girl was. I mean, there's so many of you that are always so generous. So I don't really know what, you know. It's hard to, when you like mention one person, then I feel like then I think of everybody else that was supporting the channel too. Yeah, we know Shadow Aspect. You know, she was already here. Thanks, buddy. Whew, yikes. Yeah. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is I'll put out a video of the of just that whole conversation. Do you guys think people would find that interesting? The conversation that her and I had? I think there's like 30 minutes of it, 40 minutes that were pretty good. I think I'll do that. So anyways, thanks everybody. See you guys tomorrow. And thanks again to Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick from Identifinders International. All right, thanks everybody. See you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Hey, it's going to work.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Quite a while.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Not even one?
That is a crime dissector, like rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his spectre. With all respect, y'all, just remember that I'm conjecture. I have no agenda, I'm no attender, and I'll serve it to you straight without a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal a true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody.
What the hell was that, Timmy? Jesus. That was wild. I don't see an Anne Marie. Where is that? I saw her earlier, I think. All right, well, anyways, good night in the zone. Good night, Anne Marie. Oh, there she is. You want to camp out? No, I don't. Good night, Anne Marie. Good night, Lynn. Good night, Lisa. Good night, Carl with a C. Good night, Jessica Schubach. Good night, Paulette Leonard. Good night, Shadow Aspect. Good night, Michelle H. And Crystal Connollet was here earlier. Coco Love. And Zozo. And all the other freaks that are out here. Thank you, mods, for all you guys do. Getting rid of all the crazy comments. All right. I think I'm going to try to do a show coming up where I mean, I don't have it on the setting where it's almost real time. Like, you can get within like 5 seconds. That might be better. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Thank you for watching Dre Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and an abundance of common sense. Thank you very much for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. My other sound effects don't work. All right, see ya. Why was that? Why did that one work and now it's not working anymore? Hold on. Oh, it does work. Hold on.
Bye.
Evil can never be dead enough. And some of you, you make shit up.